The Air Conservation Commission meeting for May 25th, 2017 in Air Town Hall, 1 Main Street. General business, confirmation of agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
We could theoretically leave off the 26 Oak Ridge Canard because we never got a DP number, so we can't sign an order. And that's the only thing to do.
Well, if we
We'd have to continue it.
If
So,
we did continue it to today's date, do we have to reopen and continue again? So we
No.
take it off.
oh, that's about it.
Okay.
Excuse me, you can repeat that.
So my understanding was last meeting you guys were all done with it. You're ready to sign off on set on orders, and they're all set. We've reviewed the orders. I sent them to the consultants, but I can't bring them anything to sign until the state issues a DEP number, and they're backlogged and they're missing people, and so this is showing they haven't gotten around to looking at it and reviewing it and issuing the number. So on.
So nothing's happening?
Nothing's happening.
All right. I have a motion to confirm the agenda is written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes?
Oh. Made a couple edits, Jess. Oh, sorry.
Bill's not here to hear it.
Oh, boy.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to hear them?
Yes.
All right, just a little proceed, the fourth bullet down. Looks like there's a little R there, but I couldn't figure out what that was.
Wait,
Oh, no, maybe it just didn't print. No, you know what? It didn't print. It is an R. Half an R. Yeah, look. See,
That's
my
your
thing.
printer. That's
Yeah,
not-
it's my
that's not
printer.
you, it's her.
It's not. Yeah, it's not you. Sorry. All right.
Mine came on that.
Yeah. All right. This is actually a bigger one. So on page 4, where it says on top, first bullet, GPR contends that this project within the Petapawag ACEC qualifies as a limited project, period. I would say, so I would actually put, we have parentheses, area of critical environmental concern, comma, potentially qualifies as a limited project under 310 CMR 10.53, parentheses 3.
under 310 CMR.
10.53, parentheses 3.
Well, actually, I don't know that they potentially
Well, we don't
qualify.
know.
No, they
this
qualify.
This is what they're saying.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying?
yeah.
Yeah, GPR contends that this project qualifies as a limited
Yeah.
project. I agree with adding the CMR citation.
Oh, but
Yeah.
not potentially.
Because they're
Correct.
Because they're- okay,
claiming
all right,
it is.
all right.
And I think we put down further that
Yeah.
we're asking for that to be
Yeah,
confirmed.
Clear,
right.
okay.
Right. My interpretation is that
Okay.
they're claiming that it is a limited project under this.
Okay, they're claiming
provision,
that.
and it's
Okay,
up to us
all right.
to make that
Yeah.
determination.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But we can put 310 CMR.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they have cited.
That's what they
that,
cite, yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
It's cited like
Yeah, and
twice.
I agree that it should be in that citation. Yeah.
Okay,
Got that.
all right. Mm. Yeah, I think that's it. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Anything else?
And y'all might notice the last page looks a little different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah. So we are technically supposed to be referencing important documents cited. And then also, beginning of this year, now you have to submit minutes to the town clerk's office as well as Cindy for posting.
Mm.
And the town clerk said, you need to sign the minutes.
Really?
And yeah, and, and Carly said they just haven't been enforcing that.
Mm.
But we haven't been doing it. And I said, well, it's Takashi's fault because he did minutes before me and he never did that.
And I'll blame the guy before me, and he'll blame the guy before me.
So, it's up basically, we have to start doing that.
Okay. Motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any announcements?
I got my first draft done on the permit database. And that's pretty amazing. If you didn't read that section, or if you skimmed it, basically of the just over 400 DEP numbers that have been issued in town, it covers about 1,300 parcels. And roughly there are 300 of them that have a COC. So more or less, there's 1,000 open orders in town.
There's 1,000 open?
Ish.
1,300 parcels that
Mhm.
have,
I bet you a quarter of them are in Venice Brook, but that's another story.
So 1,300 parcels covered by,
About 400
400.
COC orders, and about 300 of those parcels have closed out their orders.
Hmm.
You know, and I need to do some quality control on it and double check some details. But you know, I don't think I'll be off by
yeah.
any factors. So that's pretty neat. That's it.
Anything else?
Payables. I did my mileage because it was getting close to a full page, and we got bills from Solitude for the work. So need to sign off on these and get that going, I suppose. And the class, the wetland plant ID, because I've been waitlisted on the other one.
Okay, so we have Solitude Lake Management, $2,500. Work is tasked to perform pretreatment surveys as follows. Flanagan Pond on 418, Ayer Pine Meadow Pond on 418, and Ayer Sandy Pond on 418. $850 for Flanagan's, $825 each for Pine Meadow and Sandy Pond.
did you see them on
418.
Sandy
14.
Pond?
Okay.
Did you see them on Sandy Pond?
They haven't done, I was going to ask that.
No,
What's
they
their
did the
remaining?
treatment survey. They went out and did some photo points.
Oh, they did the
No, but
survey,
the treatments.
Right, no treatments.
just on
Do we know
Flanagan.
their?
It's early to do these treatments.
Well, they did Flanagan.
They treated?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, they did it
last Monday.
last Monday, yeah.
That's
They
right.
posted.
They were proposing
Yeah.
an early schedule. It's
Yeah,
earlier than.
yeah.
Right. And I had a chat with Joe about that, and he basically said earlier is better, the way the chemistry works out. So he was like, yeah, actually, it's not a bad thing to get in early.
So they're on schedule basically, more or less as to what they propose.
Yeah, and
When do they think they're going to do Sandy Pond and Pine Meadow?
I have not heard. But yeah, I had a chat, and Joe was like, yeah, we're doing great. It's nice to get out early.
Okay. Do we know when the beach at Sandy Pond officially opens? Is it this weekend?
This weekend?
Or is it already? Well, this weekend's Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, yeah.
I think it's. Oh, is it? Do they? They don't open this.
I don't recall when they.
It's well, it's before July, but
Okay.
then
You haven't given us
Somewhere
any beach
between-
stickers yet.
somewhere between now and July.
Okay. Well,
Huh. Yeah. Do you know if the fire departments replaced the boards in?
They took them out. Oh, sorry, they put them back. Same day.
On the, okay.
So
the
last
boards-
Monday, they put the boards in.
What was the date of last Monday?
Um, 15?
No, they're going to be treating Flanagan again too, right?
They assess first and then and then do another treatment, or do they just come and do another
Fastest I've
treatment?
ever seen.
That was fast. I don't know. I think there's the one assessment at the beginning of the season. They go out on a schedule to do the treatments as needed. I'd have to go back and double check.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound right. I don't think they're gonna do another pre-treatment assessment.
Assessment.
No, I don't think so.
You're good now?
It doesn't ring
You
any
have
bells.
to turn in
They
your
could just
red
jog
folder.
around.
Okay.
I think of it.
There we go. Well set.
Excellent. Okay. And then any of them? Okay.
George read through the first one. Solid business.
$2,500, not $1,000.
I gotcha. Okay, so this was the pre-treatment survey. Does this match up with what was on their, on what their bid sheet said?
No, they're billing differently than the way the bid sheet was set up.
All right. Did they say why?
No, that's accounting talking. The way the bid was set up, was for the pond at a time. This pond will cost this much, this pond will cost this much. And the way that's coming through is more of an itemized creature.
As work is done.
Yeah.
We can't prepay them.
Yeah, no, so you read the 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay, which says it was task 2. And this one says task 1, which was prepare and file the permit apps. Okay, so do we know that they've filed the permit apps?
As far as I know, everything is good. All my conversations with Joe, they are not going to go through with pursuing that other chemical that we're talking about,
Yeah.
which removes that whole process. The order of conditions as written allows for what they're doing. And those are the only.
I just want to make sure we're being specific. So this says that their task number 1 was worth $1,000. This says their task number 2 is worth $2,500 total. So I just want to make sure that,
You haven't paid task 1 yet, then, either.
No, this bill got confused, and I was talking to other people. They sent us a past due
Yeah.
notice, and we hadn't seen those yet. So I talked to their accountant, and they sent them here.
Oh, so we have both then?
Right.
Oh, okay. I just haven't registered yet.
That's right.
okay.
Got it.
Well, I was putting them in order because they,
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure I'm clear because I want to make sure we're doing the right thing. So they've sent us a bill for task number 1, which is to prepare and file a Mass DEP permit file application, but we don't have it.
Well, they didn't have to file it because we already had it, and they didn't have to amend it.
No, didn't they have to, didn't they have to get a permit to apply the chemicals? Don't they do that each time?
Yeah.
It's not our order of conditions, it's their permit.
Right.
I'll check because they didn't.
For the herbicide application.
They did
Yeah.
not loop me in on that particular conversation.
Okay. So you can understand why I would be reticent to pay it because I don't know that they did. Okay. And the second one says perform the pre-treatment surveys. I think we got an email on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at this time, I would be willing to accept a motion to pay the $2,500 for task number 2, the pre-treatment surveys to Solitude Lake Management for Flanagan's, Pine Meadow, and Sandy Pond.
So,
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I don't remember seeing an email talking about them filing for the permit. I
No.
guess that's,
I think it's just written under scope.
Yeah. I remember a reference to it in one of their communications that they were going ahead with filing for it.
when are they planning to apply the chemical?
They've done Flanagan already.
First one.
Okay.
So did-
So this would have been good to have. That's interesting. Did you see where you remit payment to?
yeah.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
I think it's a bigger conglomerate,
I'm starting to wonder.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
Somebody
No,
bought.
Solitude is a huge conglomerate.
Isn't that the opposite of
is a
Solitude?
big conglomerate, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're down in Florida as
Hmm.
well.
Texas.
Texas, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I guess what I would say, so that we don't hold it up another 2 weeks, is that since they've already done the treatment, I don't have any problem signing off on this one, but we need a copy of that tomorrow from them.
Sorry, say again. I was just
So-
looking to see if they said anything, but I'm not seeing anything that references that.
So I'm comfortable signing off on this because it's $1,000 and it's for the work that they've already started, because they would have had to file with the state. But I'd really like it if we had that in our hand tomorrow, and if you could let us know that you had it.
Yeah.
A copy of what exactly?
So remember, they have to file in order to do the actual application. At least that's what I remember. I would accept a motion to pay for task one $1,000 for the permit application with Mass DEP for Flanagan's Pine Meadow and Sandy Pond.
Second?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. All right. The next two on here are Brian's, and Brian, I don't want to put you off, but it's 7:15, so we'll put those at the back end. Okay. Let's reopen. Do we have Mark? We have no- Oh, Dan, so I didn't see you over there, Dan. My apologies. Let's reopen our public hearing for DEP file number 100-0401, cross-country water main Ray Road to Sandy Pond Road. Good evening, Dan.
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
Well, thanks, and you?
Pretty good. Let's see. So, we have heard back from Natural Heritage, finally. So they sent me an email, copied Brian and that,
And I pass it up to them.
and you guys have it. Okay. So, I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to go over that first, or
Well,
kind of
I guess
take a
so.
step back? And
Was this the one that was in the email, or we get this in our last meeting?
This is the email.
Email.
that you got about a week ago.
Yeah, it was- yeah,
May
Yeah.
19th.
May 19th.
Yeah, I think I believe I read that. Go ahead.
And I have to temporarily recuse myself from the discussion, but is it okay if I take notes?
Does anyone have a problem with Jess taking notes for them?
Mm.
Thank you. Okay. Consider yourself recused. Can I steal your
Everybody
copy?
wants to see my copy.
Okay. So, yes, I did see this. I read through it. They really
Yep.
do seem concerned about what might happen, which I guess is appropriate.
Yep.
Did you guys ever do a turtle plan?
No.
Okay.
So I've reached out to a biologist who will be hiring to put one together
Okay.
in accordance with that first comment they have.
Yep. And then I saw the drill fluid release, and what's your plan there?
Yeah, so we have a contingency plan which they attached to this and referenced in here. So that's our plan with the horizontal directional drilling. So if an event is to occur, then in that contingency plan, it gives the steps as to what we would do.
Okay.
To essentially stop operations and notify all parties, and then determine what the best route is from there. So that's in bullet 2 in NHESP's comments, and they also asked to be listed as notified, as well as the biologist, which we'll be hiring. So we will include that.
You know, just so we're
Part B.
clear, the drilling fluid is bentonite, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
it's a mix. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so basically it sounds like, I don't want to steal your thunder. So basically you're waiting on the turtle study.
Yes. So yes, that'll be the next step.
Okay. How does this fit in your schedule?
Well, I mean, we're hoping to get it done as soon as we can, but I think the study and plan shouldn't take too long, so it'll work for us as long as, I guess it'll depend on the study as well, because that's going to tell us, what time we should conduct the work in regards to the landings turtle, so.
Is that likely to be November?
Well,
was about to be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're about to enter the nesting season, so I'm guessing that even if the study's done quickly, nothing would happen until at the earliest later in the active season, but most likely
Yeah, so,
end of or 1st of November.
And I think the consensus is the kids are staying in the nest much longer now. Any of the parents in the room will tell you that.
okay.
So I'm afraid that may hurt you as
Yeah.
well.
So we'll see what the biologist says, so that'll,
You have a hard time leaving your shell.
Ugh. You were recused. So, okay, so it looks like you'll be doing the turtle study, going back to Natural Heritage, getting them to sign off,
correct.
and sadly then coming back to see us to tell us when later in the year you're allowed to start work.
Okay.
He said guessing.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I can't imagine it does you any good to drill in some areas and not other areas, right?
right.
You wouldn't want to
No.
do, it's not going to make sense to set up and do part of it.
No,
Okay.
we would be doing the whole entire.
Right, so your
Yeah.
front end and the back end of the drilling process are the ones they're going to worry about, so.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
That's
go.
where the machines are. So that's what they're talking about in here for the plan. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else that we need to talk about? Because obviously we need to wait for their approval to move forward on our next action.
I don't think so. I mean, we haven't gone over the Mass DEP file comments, so I don't know if you want to look at those today or at a later time.
We certainly can. Did
Okay.
we get those by email?
Where am
Just don't remember seeing those.
Unless it's this.
I? It took them a while to get us the file number, but
Oh, what you got?
April 11th we got it.
What comments did they pass on?
Do you want me to pass this?
Yeah,
over?
pull them up on the screen.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Did this one just come out?
April 11th, so this one's been a little while.
This, here, I'll just do this back. Unplug, replug. There we go.
Oh, is this, that's the dog park one. 0402,
So this one next to it.
0401.
That one there, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
It's not the following. Must receive a response from Natural Heritage before the public hearing is closed. Yep.
So is there an easement proposed? The answer is yes, that's in the conservation, draft conservation.
But
now.
easement maintenance does not require clearing of vegetation, or does it?
It does not.
Okay. Horizontal directional drilling, submit a monitoring cleanup plan, which you've done.
Correct.
So you're going to send that plan that you already did for wildlife to them?
Natural heritage?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Contingency plan?
Yeah, the contingency, yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Can you go down, sir?
yeah, on the bottom,
Review under section 404 may be required.
so I called U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to discuss that, and they said because our setup is upland of the wetlands
Mhm.
and we're drilling underneath them, then review is not required.
Great. Did they put that in writing?
They didn't put it in writing. I talked to them over the phone, but I could get it if you want.
I think you might be smart too, but that's just me.
Okay.
So it doesn't come up and haunt you later, that's all. And you know you're not going to be able to actually get in there for months, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you very much. So it looks like we have a good picture of where you're headed. You are presently working towards your turtle study and approval by Natural Heritage. And
Yep.
once that's achieved, then we can move forward with our order of conditions.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody has discovered in the last couple weeks they want to talk about on this job? Jess?
No, oh, I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Accused. George? Takashi? Anyone in the audience have any questions about the drilling? Thank you very much. Okay, so why don't we continue? Do you want us to continue to the next public hearing, or do you want to go a couple weeks after that? What's your thought? Just don't want to waste your time.
Let's do a couple weeks after.
Okay, so that one is June 22nd.
Okay.
So let's continue this public hearing. I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to June 22nd.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
See you on the 22nd. Enjoy your long holiday.
You too, thanks.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
let's reopen our public hearing. Do we have a still? So how do we close a public hearing without a DEP file number?
We don't.
Wow. Okay, is there anything, so let's reopen the public hearing for the notice of intent for 26 Oak Ridge Drive. Is there anything to discuss? Where did you end up with boilerplate order of conditions?
They had a review, they caught a typo, and it's fine.
Okay. So,
Just waiting on a number.
okay. Does it make sense for us to, so is there anything to review at all? Where boilerplate minus a typo? Or do we have a typo, or did they have a typo?
I had a typo. Well, I left out the most recent edit of the plan. I just put in the original date. They had the edit date.
Gotcha. Okay. So is it fair to say that we do not need to go through those? Would anyone like to go through the boilerplate order of conditions?
Was it pretty much the same as the last one?
Yeah.
So exactly the same as the last one? Except
minus the
what
site
you-
specific. That I wrote it up as DEP needs, DPW needs to send me a letter saying that they're good with the driveway.
Which we did. We got by email from Mark.
Yep.
Okay. So if there's nothing further to add, but we can't move on the application. Okay. So does anyone here at the table have any other further questions about this? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to talk about this? This is for 28 Oak Ridge Drive?
26.
Oh, 26? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Carol, hi. I noticed on the design plan, it looks like there's some apple trees that are real close to my lot line, and it looks like they're staying. I didn't see where they were being crossed out. Do you know anything about that? Or?
Well, not really pertinent to the application. They didn't talk about removing them while we were on site, but that's as good as it gets.
Okay.
If they're not marked up on the plan as being removed, then that's as much information as we have. I just don't want to make any promises we can't keep.
Uh-huh.
Do you think they're outside the 100-foot buffer, Carol? So they're outside the 100-foot
Buffers?
buffer.
So it should be.
Well, that means that we don't have jurisdiction over anything outside the 100-foot buffer.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
Are they within the line of work?
However, if you take a sturdy chain,
Take a what?
sturdy chain yourself around it, that might.
Yeah. Build a tree
Yeah.
hut.
Carol, the only apple trees we're seeing are down by the road.
Right. So I'm thinking up by where the end of my driveway is, that
There's
there's
They don't
nothing
have-
marked.
They don't have
They don't have
them shown
them.
on the plan.
They're not on the plan.
So I'm thinking,
But
Yeah, I remember standing next to trees up there. That's what I was thinking of.
So what you're saying is you'd like to see if there's
one of
some
them stems, so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just send them an email saying, you know, Carol's expressed an interest in keeping the trees?
yeah.
You know, and-
Thank you very much. That's
and then
perfect.
Obviously, you know, we can't require it, but I can certainly send that email.
Just really quickly, Carol, and this is no proof of what's going to occur or not occur, but they have a limit of disturbance line, which is right here.
Right.
And then those trees, if I remember correctly, are just right here, right before the hill starts to come up.
I think so.
There are a couple right there on the line.
Mhm.
So they don't show them on here, which means we don't have anything definitive, but it means they're outside of the limit of disturbance, so ostensibly they're not being touched.
Okay. That's the way I read it too.
Thank you very much. Okay, so being there's no further discussion and we have no action that we can take at this time, I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to June 8th. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay. Next up is our discussion to sign the contract with Wetland Strategies and Solutions third-party reviewer for Air Solar 2. Thank you very much. All right. Was this in the email?
I don't think I sent you guys this one.
No, I don't think so either. Did you read it?
Mm-hmm. We had a back and forth about some of it.
Who's we?
Matt.
Matt.
Wetland, WSS. Wetland Strategies and Solutions.
Did you confirm that the scope is appropriate for what we discussed?
Mm-hmm. And we ran it past Lisa and Carly.
Does it include the wildlife habitat?
No, this is just what came before you already.
Okay. What about,
Well, he doesn't know how much, like, for instance, he can't price out how much that would cost because they haven't presented one. So if it's a 3-pager or a 30-pager, theoretically it's a different creature to
Okay.
review. And that wasn't part of the original contract that was voted on, approved, discussed, etc. And so we felt it'd be cleaner to keep it out of this scope.
Well, that would mean that then he needs a separate agreement for that once he knows what the scope is?
Well, no, because one of the details written in there is that, you know, if things come up, we can actually.
Well, I saw that. It says at $85 an hour, correct?
What's that page? The client may request additional tasks for which
Right.
USS will review and provide a cost estimate to complete.
So I looked through it, and I'll look back through it again, but I didn't see a dollar figure. He says, unless these two are different.
No, they're the same.
So
The
he says,
cost
see
estimate
May
right here.
9th project proposal,
Right.
which contains the cost estimate. Okay, but it's not attached?
Right. And the reason we did that was that the way that G is set up, where the client may request additional tasks for which the USS will review and provide, it separates out the bills. You know, so this covers that bill as voted and discussed, etc. And then G would cover anything going forward.
No, I can understand that. I just wish it was attached with the cost. That was originally agreed upon so that we had a reference point.
Well, I mean, print it out and
Actually,
staple it in.
I would be more comfortable if we did that, just so that it's there for a future, for any discussions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, so it says consulting services provided, A, perform an initial review of notice of intent and associated plans, relevant online information sources, Mass Oliver GIS, data layers such as wetland and wetland change areas, natural heritage and endangered species program, maps of estimated and rare species habitat, Google Earth imagery, etc. Schedule a visit to the proposed project site to view and note the environmental settings of the site, including streams in the wetlands, plant communities, topography, surrounding land use, and other key landscape features. After visiting the site, perform an in-depth review of the project for compliance with, among other regulatory requirements, Mass WPA, Mass Stormwater, constraint posed by an area of critical concern, especially the limited project criteria related to road building and renewable energy projects. D, draft revised based upon comments, then finalized report of the review conducted under task A through C above. Explains whether and how the proposed project complies or does not comply with the regulatory requirements listed above under item C. Attend at least one meeting of the Conservation Commission to discuss the report and answer questions. If requested, be present at subsequent meetings. Client may request additional tasks for which WSS will review and provide cost estimate. And he does. He references his cost estimate. C's May 9th project proposal for tasks 1A through 1F. So 1A through 1F are all the items we talked about doing, and G is the final task, which is a potential task if there were other items to add. He would provide a cost estimate. He also indicates in here that compensation is at $85 an hour. So if we needed him for other things, it's $85 an hour. Okay. So if this meets the requirements of everything that we talked about before, any discussion, Jess?
No, but could I get a copy of it?
Yeah.
Because for minutes,
Sure.
these things I need.
Can copy while I read. George?
No.
Takashi?
No.
Okay, so I just almost called you Beth
You can
again.
call me Beth.
I was
It's okay.
right
I can
there.
go by Beth.
I was
It's-
right
I
there.
know, I saw it, I saw it.
Did you see it in my
I
eyes?
saw it. Yes, I did.
Did you see me flinch?
I did.
Send you the scanned copy
Correct
with
you,
all the
but I
signatures
kept
on
my
it as well,
mouth shut.
rather than giving you a blank.
Doesn't matter.
You can just,
I don't need the signatures.
Well, we're going to discuss alliteration later, but... Okay. All right, we have actually 3 signature pages somehow, which is fantastic. Okay. I would accept a motion to enter into an agreement with Wetland Strategies and Solutions LLC as dated today, May 25th, 2017, and pursuant to the work that is discussed for the Air Solar 2 project with a cost estimate to follow the May 9th, 2017 project proposal, which was discussed and voted upon at our prior meeting.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Please sign all 3, just for fun. All right, while folks are signing, there was a discussion about meeting times, and I'm referencing my phone because we talked about possible visits. I would have loved to have done this weekend, but I know with the holiday, that's tricky. We were offered,
You did keep the weekend open just in
Kidding.
case.
I wish I could. He did offer 5:31 and 6:1, which are next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. I cannot do Tuesday, but I can, oh, excuse me, Wednesday and Thursday. My apologies. Next Wednesday and Thursday. We were planning to do the walk that evening. Would you like to attend? I don't know if that was, does that work for you for one of those nights? I know you wanted to walk it at some point as well.
Wednesday or Thursday, sure.
Okay. So, Jess, do you have a preference?
I may be late. My dog's getting some eye surgery that day.
Oh, no. Which day?
On Thursday.
On Thursday.
What is it?
Hmm?
What is it?
Yeah, she's tired of wearing glasses, so.
Well, the other dogs picked on her.
Yeah.
They can be so cruel.
So I would actually go ahead and schedule it though.
Okay. George?
Thursday is the meeting on the bylaw.
Oh.
Planning board.
Oh. Oh, well, there you are. Okay. Takashi?
I cannot do the 31st. And I'm not sure about the first, but that would be the more likely
For you.
possibility for me.
Okay. Bonnie?
I can't remember, I did say
I think you said you couldn't do the 31st.
I can't do the 31st,
You said you could.
and I can't do the 3rd.
Wait.
Was it
hold
the 6th that I? Oh,
Bonnie
you
said, I can do 6-1 after 5:30.
Yeah, 6/1 after 5:30,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we've got daylight till 8, and as long as we have half-decent weather, shouldn't be an issue.
Good.
Okay. So, I don't want to miss the bylaw, but we're in perilous waters here. I'm almost more inclined to do 5:31, but I don't want Bonnie to miss.
Yeah,
Actually,
Bonnie's gonna have questions. She needs to be there.
so you didn't actually say you couldn't do 5:31. You just said you could do 6-1. Do you remember, was one of them an out for you?
Well, I definitely cannot do the 3rd, because I won't be here.
Okay,
I'm doing
right.
a bike trip.
Sure.
The 31st, what day is that?
That's the Wednesday.
That's the Wednesday.
Right.
What time?
Well, what time would work for you?
It's gonna be really hard for me to get the early train home, so,
Well, where do you need to be picked up?
well, it would be Cambridge. Can you make it to Cambridge? No, the problem is I have Wednesdays, I have team meetings,
Hmm.
and I have to be there. I have to be,
Do you want a note?
yeah, can I get a note? It would be 6:35
When you get there?
when I get off the train here in
Okay.
Ayer.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we think we can walk this at 7 o'clock at night and get it done in an hour and a half?
What time does it get dark?
About 8:30.
Like an hour and a half. Oh, the mosquitoes are gonna be crazy.
I'm going to be covered up so much because of the ticks anyway, it's not going to matter.
They'll be fighting instead of sucking blood
Yeah.
with each other, you know.
Bring a lint roller. It's a new
I s-
hack.
I saw that on Mount Ascutney last Saturday. Wanna do that?
If that's fine with you guys.
Okay. I guess I know you have a distinct interest in this, and although it means chopping Takashi out for the night, okay. So why don't we say 5:31? Please communicate to Matt. 5:31. Did all the contracts get signed and passed back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What time?
So why don't we say we'll start on site at 6:30, and maybe we'll get a little bit in while we're waiting for you to come, or maybe we go to the far end where it's not as
And
big deal.
I'll just run in.
sure.
Yeah.
And starting
Beat the mosquitoes.
from
My assumption is we'll park on the. We have to start at the entrance. Yep.
Washington Street.
Nowhere else to park. Okay. So 5:31, 6:30 p.m. under the power lines.
And that's where I'm going to tell them to meet you, is under the power lines.
Yes.
Okay.
He should have identification. I don't know who he is.
Oh, on the rail trail. I mean, on the bike path, under the power line.
No, under the power lines, right on Washington Street.
Oh, on Washington. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
he's not
right.
he's not a GPR plant. All right. Okay. So if we're all set with that one, let's reopen our public hearing for DEP file number 100-0403 Air Solar 2. We have some news. There's going to be a site walk with the consultant at 6:30 p.m. on 5/31 next Wednesday.
You didn't catch that.
Is there anything else that's come up in the last 2 weeks that you wanted to discuss before the site walk?
I have a couple of things to give you.
Okay.
You had asked last time about the, just to complete the, actually, back up things. Is that one?
Lovely, thank you.
I've got copies here of the email train of the requests that we made to be able to cross the rail trail.
Oh, yeah,
access.
yeah. No, thank you.
So I've got copies of that, but I don't know if you want to look at them, go over them, but basically it's, I started with our request and worked our way down. So the newest stuff is at the end.
Okay.
And basically, to summarize it, DCR holds land for the benefit of the public for the purpose of recreational and natural resource protection. It's a quantifiable public, if a quantifiable public benefit can be derived from the disposition of DCR property, no other alternatives exist. Occasional exceptions to this policy are made. The disposition of DCR-owned land and interests in land is a tedious process that requires a 2/3 supermajority vote of the legislature and filing under MEPA and oversight by DCAM. In addition, the proponent must pay compensation for the fair market value of the interest conveyed or the proposed value of use, whichever is greater. Based on your letter requesting an easement for access to a solar farm, the proposal does not meet with DCR's Article 97 disposition policy. Should you have further questions, please do not hesitate to let me know.
Well, I really appreciate you doing that because I think that's crucial for our discussion.
Sure. I'll give you those copies for that. And
Thank Thank you.
One for everybody else out there.
Yeah, so, did you take one by?
No.
No. There we go.
And the only other thing actually we had to discuss is Takashi had asked, he wasn't sure if the limited project E applied only to residential, and we left that out.
I actually went back and looked at it.
Yeah, and it's not limited to residential, so.
But I could-
And I do have a kind of a qualifying question regarding that. So, I never read this before in, the Wetlands Protection Act regulations, but were you guys required to go before the planning board regarding the road construction prior to
You mean the driveway?
the driveway construction?
It's not a road.
The driveway, yeah.
We initially had filed with the planning board. We filed a site plan approval, like we did for the previous project where we had received site plan approval with the planning board. We were scheduled for the June next week. Well, originally we were scheduled for next June meeting, and they pushed it off to the July meeting for some reason. But in the interim, we received a letter from the building inspector of Town of Ayer, and we had questioned the fact that under strict reading of the bylaw, your bylaw really does not require site plan approval for this project, because under the state law, it allows it in any zone, so it's an allowed use under state law, but it's really an exempt use from your zoning, because your zoning doesn't address it. And in your bylaw, it's written very specifically, there are 4 items that will require site plan approval. One of them is a new structure of a certain size, another one is some certain number of parking spaces, another one is a subdivision of land to be approved by the planning board, and the 4th one is any use requiring site plan approval listed in your table of uses, which this is not. Even though it's allowed under state law, it's not listed in your table of uses. So your zoning enforcement officer, who is also your building inspector, took up the discussion, talked with town council about it. Town council basically came back and said, and Carly was involved as well, came back and said, you're right. A strict reading of this bylaw does not require site plan approval for this project. So we withdrew.
So I'm just trying to be not so confused. So town bylaw would preempt the
2 different things.
Yeah.
totally two different
Planning
things?
board runs
Yeah.
under its own set of rules.
Yeah.
And then this is a set of rules that we're running under. And it's just odd because this set of rules refers to planning board approval
Right.
as one of the standards that would have to be met.
Right.
And so,
So if that doesn't count, or
Well-
if that's not necessary,
well, the question that I have, because I haven't looked through the planning board road regs, do they have a minimum, like when you build a new driveway, roadway, pathway of any kind, do they have any minimum specs?
Yeah,
that
they
need
do
to
have
be-
minimum specs for building a roadway.
Right.
We're not building a roadway.
Okay.
Well,
Driveway.
But
So
this
do they have minimum
specifies.
specs for a driveway?
Two very different.
But
things.
this specifies a driveway.
Yeah.
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 This
And
spec-
we're doing a driveway.
Yeah.
So, 'cause-
So, I mean, our design is based on a couple of things. It's based on good engineering practice, number one, but it's also based on minimum access requirements for an FPA.
Right. I mean, and this specifies basically water restrict, like water flow restriction specifically.
It's, yeah, I mean, we've still got to meet stormwater management standards. By far, the more rigorous standard is what this board requires. Under a site plan review, it's basically an allowed use by right. That's kind of a definition of site plan review loosely. It's an allowed use by right where the planning board can't really say no, but they can ask you to do certain things. They can talk about screening, they can talk about site distance, they can talk about, and a lot of that, especially the site distance kind of stuff, that's all, we're gonna worry about that a lot more than they ever would, because it's a life safety issue, and our stamps and reputation and welfare of the firm depend on our ability to provide a safe entrance to this place. But as far as the actual, how much screening there is, how far from the lot line we're gonna be, and all the rest of it, that's typically something the planning board would talk about and they'd be concerned with.
so to your point, before we go too far, you know what he means by site distance, right? So when you have that exit,
Right.
right, you have to be able to see enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
coming-
safety.
Yeah, for safety, right.
Okay.
Right.
But
Yep.
when we went to the planning board initially, when we had our first informal discussion with the board before we understood we didn't have to do this, we had received comments from abutters that they were concerned about how close we were to the lot line. And so we responded by shrinking the size of the solar array and putting up the 50-foot buffer in that we talked about, which is obviously still our intent to do that, and we're still as concerned as we were then about trying to provide some screening for the abutters, and we're still concerned about that driveway and whether we can use the wetlands in lieu of
Yeah.
making that
Yes.
drainage. And so we're going to have all those discussions here as part of this proceeding.
Right. No,
Really, the planning board was basically a less rigorous, somewhat duplicative effort for what we're going to be doing before this board.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a question, given the limited project under, 3E, right?
Yeah.
And the reading of 3E, that, for me, that just came up as a question regarding driveway construction and planning board approval.
Sure.
That was just a, yeah.
So
Or
perhaps,
just get,
And I think they're saying that, they're accepting of the minimum standard that the planning board would enforce as what we would need to do. They're acknowledging that that's what we would need, the standard we would have to meet. So they couldn't say to us, well, we'll let you do the road, but you can make it 15 feet wide instead of 24, which is what the planning board requires. Or in this case, you're going to take a driveway that needs to be 16 feet with 2-foot shoulders to qualify under NFPA access rules, and we're going to require you to make it 12 feet. So they're just acknowledging that there are other standards we have to meet.
Okay.
so Bonnie, would it be helpful if there was a letter from planning stating that, lifting some of that language and saying that it meets the requirements or it meets their
In order to do
standards
that,
or?
in order
Yeah, I
to
was
do
gonna
that,
say, I
we
don't-
have to have a planning board process.
I don't think they can say
Because
it
it
meets
has-
those requirements. I think the only thing they could do is say that there was no reason to go through their process. The only thing that could happen is a letter from the zoning enforcement authority saying that there was no meeting necessary.
Right, and we've got
Because
that.
without the meeting, they're not saying anything.
So the no would be the answer to your concern.
Right,
Do
yeah.
we have that letter?
Yeah.
Let's see, I think I do right here.
I emailed it yesterday and received it.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
All right. So before we go further, Bonnie, did you have any other questions?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, Takashi.
Not really any questions, I guess, since we just had a discussion about the driveway meeting certain planning board regulations, which may not be applicable. Might be good just to get the fire department emergency folks to weigh in to make sure that it would meet whatever.
We've been talking to DPW, we've discussed it with them.
Okay,
And
that's fine.
that's usually the approach.
Okay, that's fine.
There you go, there's the letter.
Can I have a copy of that too?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I have to refer to documents now.
For the front site plan. Withdraw.
What's the date of it?
Stamped on May 25th, May 22nd.
Great. Okay.
Can we read that for the public? We can't see it from here.
Oh, sure. It says, from Cal to Mr. Fay. It says, Dear Mr. Chairman, we recently received a letter from Charles R. Schultz, Jr., the Zoning Enforcement Officer, Building Commissioner of the Town of Ayer, informing us that the project known as Ayer Solar 2 does not require site plan review according to the Ayer zoning bylaw. We are further informed that we may continue with site plan review if we so choose or withdraw the application with the Ayer Planning Board. Based on this zoning opinion from the Zoning Enforcement Officer / Building Commissioner, we would like to inform the Planning Board that we do hereby withdraw the site plan application for the Ayer Solar 2 project from consideration of the Ayer Planning Board without prejudice. Thank you for your consideration for this project today.
Thank you. I do have another comment.
I thought you might. So, Bonnie, you're all set. Takashi, you're all set. George?
I'm all set.
Thank you. All set. Yes, sir?
I'd like to just, I think this is what part of the effort that's going to be done by the consultants, what you're talking about right now, because the effort that's talked about here under 1053, section 3, and the number of sections that fall under that are for the limited project, as we still pointed out, but it's for the exceptions. So these are reasons that they're allowed to be limited projects. And as a result of that, you have to read that whole paragraph to understand it, how the planning board gets involved. And it's not just because the planning board can be uninvolved, but the real question, I think, is whether it falls under that section or section T, which talks about construction for roadways that lead to a solar or renewable energy facility, which this is. So it's the choice by the applicant to fall under section E, which is, it says construction maintenance of a new roadway or driveway meets the minimum standards. But it's really designed for, it says, from access of a public way to an upland of the same owner is unavailable. If they don't own you own the land in the front, and you have to say have a P&S agreement on it.
Yeah, we have control.
But isn't it designed to be, in fact, a situation where somebody already owns all the land? Go ahead. It's a different, all I'm saying is I think a consultant will help us here, that's all I'm saying. Because they're gonna look at the limited project.
I mean, section E does say, issuing authority may require the applicant to utilize access over an adjacent parcel of land currently or formerly owned by the applicant, or in which the applicant has or can obtain an ownership interest, so they don't have to already have that.
My experience with ownership clauses in regulations like this, they tend to refer to, it's not a standard that the property has to already be held, because what can regularly happen through these things is that folks can enter into a leasing agreement, or they can enter into an agreement to have a leasing agreement. Because the idea is that, for instance, Mr. Goldsmith's firm, they represent, I don't want to mess up his last name, Mr. Garg. Thank you. They represent Mr. Garg, and Mr. Garg wouldn't want to pay for or purchase interest in something until he was through the permitting process. So most likely he purchases an interest to purchase an interest, and then at that point he can obtain ownership. But as long as he has control through whatever instrument he's used to purchase that interest, that's typically the standard that needs to be met.
And actually, the situation is such that Mr. Garg has purchased already and paid for an easement.
There you go.
For this driveway, and has an option to purchase the property to put the house lots on. So the driveway will be serving those two house lots plus the solar.
Thank you very much. So even though that's, hold on one sec. So even though that's not something that literally is considered under our jurisdictional, what we would be talking about from a jurisdiction, as you just heard, the owner does actually have, or the proponent for this project does actually already have an interest. Did you have another point? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to finish that thought.
My only question was why they didn't use section T of the limited project exceptions, which calls for construction of a new access or roadway or improvement to repair or replace of an existing access road needed to transport equipment to a renewable energy project site.
Because under section T, in its very narrow definition of being usable only for a solar project, which this is actually solar and two residential lots. I understand, but under section T, they also have restrictions in there that prohibit any permanent grading from occurring to put the road in, so obviously this is not a case where we could use section T.
But if the planning board is out of it, then the discussion regarding the other two house lots is out of it, because we only have an NOI in front of us. We don't have any driveway for house lots at this point, because we have no subdivision or anything else. We just have what's sent in by the applicant.
No, agreed, but the last part, and I don't have it in front of me to read out loud.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me to read out loud, but if I understand the second piece that Cal was saying, indicates that it prevents grading, which obviously would be part of this project. So T would not be applicable. Thank you very much. Yes. So, and this is T?
That's, yeah.
T.
T5, I think.
4, yep.
4.
T.4 says, no change in the existing surface topography or the existing soil and surface water levels shall occur except for temporary access roads. So what the applicant is saying is they couldn't use that because clearly they do have to change the grade. I've got to get glasses. Did you have any further comments, sir?
But I think the intent of the E is to include the planning board in the discussion.
I know you keep coming back to the planning board, but A, that's not jurisdictional, and B, if the planning board, you read the letter, I don't know if you doubt its veracity, but the letter states that they're out.
They're out on the site plan, but that doesn't mean that their standards are out, is what I'm getting at, because this requires their standards. If it complies with their standards, they don't have to be in,
Right.
as long as it complies with their standards.
They don't have jurisdiction, they don't have the right to impose those standards.
But it's a limited, once you
The
go
limited
into
project says that if we are subject to those standards, that the limited project allows us to go to the minimum acceptable amount of their standards, because they're trying to keep it
you want to get it
as
to
little
the-
disturbance as possible,
Yeah.
which we've actually done less than what a road would be, and we've done the minimum we could do for a driveway, and still meet NFPA standards for access. And really, the minimum we would feel comfortable doing for the driveway access on this site.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? Yes, sir?
About the site walk and what we would like staked, what do you, I mean, you have some idea?
Well, that is a good question. So A, we didn't talk about if you would have time to prep for that, did we? So do you believe you'd have time to prep for any staking if we did the center of the roadway?
You want the center of the roadway?
I'm just thinking it may make the most sense because we can work off of the center of the roadway to figure out what the other elements are.
Does it loosely follow the existing?
No.
It does go on.
Yeah, I mean, it might be more sensible to use the limits of clearing that are inside the buffer zones and as they cross the wetlands, maybe with a stake at where the paving ends.
Okay.
For the road, because the initial part of it, you know, there's a lot of fill there, so the
Right.
center line is, I don't know, maybe not gonna make much sense.
That'd be pretty tough to stake and have it be meaningful.
Well, and we'd also end up in the water, wouldn't we?
We're gonna end up in the water at the limits of clearing for, you know, the crossing.
Okay. That's fine if we could have, so if you could do, so the road comes in, turns, if we could put a stake where that curve ends, so we can relate it to that start, and then if you can put one at the end of the paving,
Okay.
and then if you can, excuse me, I'm just trying to have, you have a straight shot through where the most of the fill and the work is, correct?
It's a pretty straight shot.
If we could have a stake on either end, we could at least cite that.
With the straight shot, gotcha.
That would be great.
Do you want to see the impacted wetland or the area of wetland replication laid out?
Well, I think the tricky part about that, well, if we were able to flag that as opposed to stake it, where the areas of replication are 1 and 2.
What I might suggest is just putting a couple stakes down from Washington Street to indicate not only that one turning point that you mentioned and the point kind of at the bottom of the hill
Right.
where the end of the pavement is, but just that limit of disturbance that would give you kind of a range of what's happening on that front side, and where the limit of disturbance ties into the wetland flagging is where that first wetland replication area will be.
Right.
Now, on the other side, you know, we could also pick up the limits of disturbing where it hits the wetland line and bring that perhaps to the buffer line, just so you have an idea of where the jurisdiction is, also then where that second wetland replication area is.
Well, can we put the plan up? Do you have it in your email?
Did I email that? Sure. Yeah, so it's red.
I would suggest if you want to allow us to use our judgment and find and put enough stakes and flagging out there to define these areas that you'd be concerned with.
Remember what you call it?
Well, look for the, go back, look for the biggest.
Yeah. Sort by size.
Yeah, you're looking
Well.
for about 8, 10.
It's not gonna be those. You're gonna go up.
Sort by size.
Submission materials, there it
There it
is.
is.
There's 23, no, that's the NOI itself.
That one. That one. It's got it.
It should be,
Give it a shot.
You got a page you think that'll work well?
C31.
Three?
Zero overall site plan. C32 is the erosion and sediment control plan.
Go down a
Go another
plan, or
couple
just go down a
sheets
plan or two.
there,
Oh.
back
Up
one.
one.
One more.
There we go.
No, there.
Perfect.
So which one are we at?
C 3.1.
Okay. Can you zoom in this area, please?
It's catching up. It's catching
Yeah,
up.
it's big.
Gerbils are working.
Do you have a regular mouse?
No, it's a gerbil.
Okay. So, I have a pretty good feel for what you have to do here. Obviously, there's a lot of work to make this first turn. So my feeling was if we, as we come out of that turn, if we could say, here's where we are, right? Stake the entry. Come out of the turn. And then, can you pull us down this way, please? Thank you. And so obviously, here's where the majority of the work is being done. So here's replication area number 1. So actually, your limited disturbance in here is the whole thing, right?
Yes.
So if we knew where this was, and we knew where this was, we'd be able to identify those, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay, pull down, please. Thank you. So if we go right across the roadway, because obviously this is going to be one of the toughest spots, and then if you pick up over in this corner and just give us the basic outline of that replication 2.
So maybe we, on the crossing, just a stake on either side of where that crossing is. I don't know if you're
Well,
intending to walk through that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, right? I can't walk through this, can I?
You could.
No, I can.
I
I
have
can
confidence.
float through that, so that's why I was wondering if we just had a stake on either end so that we could cite it and say, that's what the expectation is. All right? Bring it down. And then,
Farther back.
Oh, Kyle, this would be good at that. That's the property line, right? Because the ANRAD stopped technically down here.
Well, we would know by the flag numbering.
Well, I mean, if they're not walking in the woods, if they're walking down the road, just to know when they cross from when the ANRAD is official to.
Well,
or,
and
you
we're
know,
also,
that-
we're also assuming you're gonna wanna walk the rest of that line as part of the NOI.
Right.
here's going to be what part of the plan is anyway. Oop, can you bring that up?
Oop.
Thank you. So this is all part of your limit of clearing, part of your limit of work, right?
No.
Are you changing these? They're
No,
dark.
that's not part of the limited work.
So these darkened areas, those don't represent change to grade?
Those are existing grades.
Okay. So I know you've got gray boxes and I know they're not it.
The tree line, sort of on the bottom there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, if you follow that along the road, it crosses that little knob of ledge and then continues along and just tries to stay out of the 50-foot buffer. So we're pretty close to grade on the existing trail with our clearing.
Okay. Up here, certainly.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, so we never walked. I mean, we skirted, this is the knob
Yeah,
that
you
we
came up
skirted?
that side and
Right.
stopped.
There's
About
the-
where it
It's a
says-
pine tree.
about where it says private is where you stopped. Somewhere in that area.
Private sanitary, there you go, private, yeah.
I thought I walked around it. But,
Oh, you may have, you may
You
have.
walk through it.
yeah, I never did. Okay. And then, hold on, please. Okay. And then, actually, which one of these was the 100-foot?
That, it's in the grading, yes, that's the 100
There
foot.
it is.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, please. Thank you. Okay, so all this is outside of the 100?
Correct.
Okay. And then is there any clearing into this extent? I know,
That is all cleared in between the 100 and the 50.
okay. Got it. Okay. So, yeah, so limited clearing would be helpful, and I agree with you. Can you show the crossing again? If we just stake that so we can cite it, be better than. Okay. I think we covered what was essential for the walk. Did you have any other comments, Jess? George? Takashi? And was said Beth again. Sweet Moses.
One comment to
How do you
add.
say?
Mr. Diskin did let me know today that he had his property line staked.
Okay.
So there will be another set of flags out there that if you're curious what they are his property line.
Okay. Are they a different color, Ken?
It's, the stakes marked right on it, it says what it is.
Okay. If you wanted to paint them a different color before we go out there, might actually be helpful. I just paint them like light green or something. Just as a suggestion. Okay. Did we cover everything?
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you for bringing it up. Okay. If there's nothing further, I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to June 8th. Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. We'll see you then. All right. Next, we have a public hearing for an NOI for Mr. Garg at 0 Rosewood Ave. Do we have a DEP file number? They're just slow on these now, huh?
Can you bring a flash drive any chance?
Reduced staffing.
I don't recall seeing that.
Whoa, 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 not in front of the camera. You have a flashcard that comes in your wallet like that?
Nice.
Sweet Francis. Huh.
Do I have a port that'll take this?
There's no Bitcoin on it. It's a USB.
My goodness. Even Beth would find that interesting if she was here.
If she was here.
See what I did? Go up to your reset.
Why not? Reset?
Well, just hit that reset it there. Yep. Oftentimes it'll, when it refreshes the screen, it'll say, "Oh, I found this." Except apparently now. So close it down and start over. There you go. Try down here. See the little arrow down here? Hit that little arrow. Well, it's not suggesting it. What's that? Oh,
I'll just stick into a different form. Maybe it doesn't like the form.
wait. What is happening? What?
Really? Whoa!
Enjoy.
So make sure nobody gets poisoned.
It didn't come up, and the cookies are over there. So that we've got two issues. So-
Oh my goodness.
You think?
You I'll have one. Yeah, I was gonna.
And to what do we owe this?
My computer likes your flash drive.
Just thank you for your work.
You know,
Well, that's very sweet.
Thank you. Literally.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Mm.
Are you Phyllis?
Pardon
Are
me?
you Phyllis?
I am Kathy.
Kathy.
My new favorite of water.
Hold on. I just want to make someone feel bad.
Can the bad guys have one too?
You can have two.
Oh, come on, Jess, you hit me where it hurts. Come on.
At our meeting, and a nice lady made cookies for us.
Ken, you want a cookie?
No, Cal asked if the bad guys could have it. So you're up there.
I know that. I want to stay as a bad guy, I want to become a good guy.
Okay.
Anyway,
This doesn't seem to be working.
no.
So let's go backwards.
everybody's got big plans.
I'm starting to think that's a fake.
It is.
Okay. Please explain your project to us.
Thank you. This project is for a restoration of approximately 41,000 square feet of riverfront area adjacent to James Brook. These areas adjacent to James Brook are on a bluff high above James Brook, approximately between 20 and 30 feet above the level of the stream. There are the river
Thank you.
and the riverfront. The river itself was surveyed and located, and the riverfront area was delineated and identified in approximately 41,000 square feet of this riverfront area. High above the river that drains away from the river was cleared as part of the Air Solar 1 project. We are proposing to restore that riverfront area with plantings to then allow it to revegetate and renaturalize with these plantings as a start. Plantings have been put in to develop a taller overhead canopy with an understory and spaced out so that these trees, when mature, will have room to be at their full height, their full canopy, and will be developing an understory with the starting of some evergreen shrubs, arrowwood viburnum, the Hetzi juniper, and there's a line of white pines, eastern white pines that are set to start developing a line along the limit of clearing of the property with a grouping of various red oaks, sugar maples spread throughout. The intent of the planting is also to not put the restoration plantings right up against the solar field development, against the fence, so that these two areas can coexist. The understory that'll be put in place should provide a good deal of screening to the neighbors across the river. And the intent is to make that as good or more than what was there before, and to provide a reasonably diverse community that can grow and evolve and create a stable environment in that riverfront. There are a lot of directions on the plans as far as what the process of planting and watering and ensured survivability of the plantings will be. Believe that and as well as fertilizing, you could read through them, but it's on the plan for your review. Are there any questions?
The only thing I would add before we come up to questions is that in this area that was disturbed, it was cleared and it was stumped, so areas that were stumped were disturbed, but the majority of the ground surface is as it was, swept clean, but was not dug up, so the roots and the root mat and the existing forest floor is still intact. So that will help, number one, stabilize the area, but number two, it will help in that there's still seeds in the ground, there's still plants that will come up as it would in the forest. So what we're planting is going to be augmented by what the natural growth that will happen in that area. And it's still got the same soil structure for the top foot of organic as the woodland has in that area, which is it's just good that we didn't contract to disturb that. And I think that'll help with the restoration and holding water in that area.
Well, I want to start off with two questions, so thank you. So the first one was, if I remember correctly, we identified on this corner, didn't we talk about taking advantage of that natural depression? And we were going to run that water off that corner into it?
The amount of water that, as Cal mentioned, with the mat that's still intact is really holding the water. It's not an erosive condition taking place in that corner. So we could do that. It seems really unnecessary with the soil structures that are there existing to hold and keep the water.
Well, I tell you what, excuse me, why don't we keep an eye on it? If it becomes an issue, we'll chase it. It was just a tiny portion.
And
I think we were.
I would suggest adding a berm,
Right.
but not disturbing what's there now.
That's all we
And
had,
that
was
was-
adding the berm, so it traveled down into that depression.
Okay.
I feel it's most appropriate just because obviously the only reason we're here is the area wasn't captured on the original plan and the clearing took place, which shouldn't have taken place. And so I would state the disappointment that happened, but I'm glad that we're moving forward to make changes to what occurred. And I would imagine, and I hope Kathy feels the same way. Kathy, if I remember correctly, you and your husband live down the bottom of the hill, right?
Yes, we're here.
What's your last name?
Smith,
It's Kathy Smith.
we have the best view of the solar pond.
So we just took cookies from a Smith. If you think about that. So,
Very good.
yeah, but they were really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think based on what we're seeing here, based on what we saw in the other vegetation, this may actually grow in a way that blocks the solar farm for you more than what you would have had if the trees hadn't been cut down.
Okay.
I know that's not the perfect situation, but there was no screening plan originally with the project because screening isn't something that we normally require. In this particular case, they're effectively reforesting the area that was cleared, and so the combination of the low shrubs and the trees should actually provide you more screening of the solar farm than you would have originally had. So
Thank you.
I don't know if that helps or not, but it'll be nice to see when it goes in and see how that works. Jess, did you have any questions?
Just asking on, note it says all plans shall be guaranteed for a minimum of a year. Is there a maximum guarantee or?
So that's kind of your maximum.
That is the maximum guarantee.
Yeah, that's a phraseology thing.
Yeah. So is that sufficient?
Well, I guess this is where
Given
that gets tricky. So I'm guessing there's no water source on the property, right? So the only way to access it would be somebody would have to drive up into the property and then water the trees. When do you anticipate being done with the solar farm construction?
They are very
They're
close to
pretty young.
being, very
Yeah, the
close to
fence
being
up.
done now.
Okay.
I haven't checked to see what their schedule is for completion.
I'm gonna go out next week with Mike and go over the pole and discuss the grass seed. Looks like we gotta go with the fescue.
Really?
Yeah,
All fescue?
yeah.
I would, the fence that's along where this plantings will take place is installed.
Okay.
So there would be nothing prohibiting planting now
Sure.
to take advantage of spring. But
I thought we agreed to plant kind of more of a variety of kind of native, low-lying,
Yeah, turns out
Plants.
it's not as simple as it sounds.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
you're switching to grass seed.
Well, grass and, native wildflowers that attract,
Right.
bees, butterflies.
The way the RDA was written up was a native grass seed mix, and the options that Mike brought to me were primarily composed of naturalized European grasses, and so the red fescue that is an option is a standing disagreement in the botany community about whether or not it's native, but most of the people that are in the business will let it go. I did have a talk with the guy over at New England Wetland Plants, and he put together an alternative mix that was naturalized North Americans and a couple of warm season grasses that were local. The problem with many of them is that they wouldn't tolerate the mowing regime envisioned by the solar company. So they
Well,
would
what's
all die.
the mowing regime?
Basically once a month.
Once
And they'd be
They'd
they'd be drowned out by the other grass around them.
Well, basically, it wouldn't give the more sensitive species time to recuperate from the last mowing to reproduce successfully. And so you would just end up killing out in the mowing regime. So you'd have to go to maybe like a 3 times growing season regime to have a variety succeed. And so because the way the RDA was written, calling for native grass, and because of their own needs, I told them, look, here's a suite of options. While I dislike it, the red fescue would meet, the way it was spec'd out. So, I gave him the dozen species from New England Wetland Plan and the red fescue option, and it seems like they're gonna choose the 100% red fescue, which is boring, but it meets the term of the RDA.
I mean, as I understood it, the rest of the option, the mix from New England wetland plantings is conceivably only a 2-foot high, and you would never have to mow it. But that,
You might want to look at the European plan, because they plant and they only mow once a year.
Well, right, and
Because-
this is the,
They plant at the end of the growing season, and it gives time for, certain species to seed, and, and then you're mowing, so, shrubs don't grow, trees don't start growing, but it keeps the native species, like, everything that, milkweed, grasses, different, perennials sort of there,
right.
which can, kind of populate and repopulate year to year to year. And so, and they're only, a couple feet high, a foot to a couple feet high,
right,
which I think is fine, because your solar panels are
30 inches
30 inches above the ground, right?
minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, here's my thought. It's a really sensitive, ecologically sensitive area. It's designated ACEC for a reason, right? If it wasn't
The solar
designated
one's not
ACEC,
ACC, solar 2 is.
No, they both are.
They're both up.
Oh, you're right,
Up to
the
the-
project wasn't, you got, right, Yeah.
Up to the power lines,
Yeah.
it's basically
Forgot about
defined, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's upland, from James Brook, right? So you have a lot of species coming up, you know, laying their eggs, doing their thing, going back down into the, you know, into the wetland. So, you know, my feeling, if you can actually find a source of seed or a source of, and just get it going, and then see how it goes, you know?
I just want to make sure, I think we kind of veered into Air Solar 1, and maybe that's what, because I think that's where the seed mix discussion that Brian was having came from. I'm not sure if you're suggesting that also here, which I think would be a great idea, because it would be in the understory, and, you know, it would perpetuate that way, and, you know, on this restoration, I think that makes perfect sense, and just take the mix that, you know, that we saw from New England wetland plants for this, you know, for this area. I don't know how to address biology in the seed world and how high the grasses may get. I don't.
More importantly.
Yeah,
This is my gift to you.
yeah, but that even still, it's like Jurassic Park. You know, you can't just have all
It's-
female dinosaurs. You know,
Right,
nature
right.
has a way of, you know, seeds blow in, and they start to populate, and then all of a sudden you need to mow. Does that kill? There may be a to kill the wildflower plants. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't know. I'm not knowledgeable to address the desire to put that seed mix in the Air Solar 1.
think
I don't
any-
disagree.
So here's another thought process.
Well, so-
Any monoculture, okay? So I have another issue with.
I agree with
your
the
plantings
monoculture,
In terms
okay.
of trees, because you only have like 5 species.
Okay.
Where in this total, and we can get there in a minute, but monoculture is always not such a great thing
Mhm.
when it comes to supporting, you know, a wide variety of life, right? I mean, you would die if I fed you hamburgers every day, probably.
Just give me cookies.
You want
all the time.
hamburgers every day? Huh? Or do you want chocolate chip
We,
cookies every day?
we seem to be diverging.
I know,
I
but no,
wanna
I'm
just reel it
trying
in.
to make a point here.
I'm with you.
Right? And it's just really important, I think, in this area, you know, not necessarily in other areas, but in this area, I think it's really super important to
So
get
we're
that
gonna turn the
diversity,
chair for
that
a reason.
plant diversity. And if you can go out of your way and seek, you know, some alternative to just one species of grass, it would be really beneficial.
Can I ask a question? What did New England wetland plants, didn't they have a multi-seed mix that was a bunch of different types of seeds and whatnot that
They
doesn't
did.
grow too high?
That's what
And
it's.
what was our issue with that? Why?
I don't know that there's, and this is where also I'm coming from. I'm not in a decision-making position on that for Air Solar 1.
Well, and if we're talking about Air Solar 1, we're not in a decision-making point about that in this room right now.
RDA.
I know, I
Well,
know.
It's the language in the RDA that's.
No, I understand that, but right
I
now
know.
we have an
I
open
know,
public
I know.
hearing for
Right,
this.
For this, right. But
Fair
it's,
point.
yeah.
but to tie
So,
that up,
That's kind of the thing.
timing is important, it's
if you
kind of
mow
timing.
it when
But we
it's
can-
at the
we can
wrong
go back to
stage,
this.
it's going to kill it all.
So New
So
England wetland plants.
that mix of the wildflower mix that came from New England wetland plants, if you mow it at the wrong time or too often,
Mhm.
it kills it off.
But if
Right,
it grows slow
right.
and they can mow less, that's a good thing.
It would be a good thing.
Right.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it
How's
saves
that
you-
not a
saves you
benefit?
money,
I just,
you know,
it's,
down the road.
maybe it's the monitoring, like they schedule it, some guy, you know, comes out and mows. He's got a contract to come mow, he mows every month, and he's not paying attention to, well, you know what? It's only a foot tall. There's no point in mowing it right now. It's getting a nice carpet, a very diverse carpet. It can go another month before you even have to think about it again. He
So-
comes
so
back,
let's-
he looks at it.
So let's tie this back, 'cause is there any mowing plan for the project that's in front of us right now?
Not for
No,
Okay,
this.
so I want to cover that conversation, but
Okay.
I don't want to do it during this, because
Okay.
it's not appropriate.
All right, we'll go to this.
Okay.
Because I got lots of issues with this too.
So why don't you start with your 5 species?
okay, again, 5 species in 41,000 square feet is not diverse. And so I would suggest, and also the Japanese Hertzie is not a native plant. It's from China.
Which one is?
The Hertzie juniper.
Juniper?
Although it grows fast, there are also issues with that as well. It's basically, it can be disease. It can basically get this sort of moldy kind of disease that if it's planted too densely together, it can actually get diseased pretty fast. Anyway, so that's not, so I would suggest Juniperus virginiana, actually. It's eastern red cedar. And that grows 30 to 60, well, it's 10 to 40 feet, basically.
Eastern red cedar.
It's eastern red cedar. It produces a lot of berries for birds. It's very drought resistant.
I'm highly allergic to it.
You're highly
Only when you cut it down. So that's
So
the
it's-
JH.
It's JH.
Okay.
Correct. I would not plant a non-native plant in a ecologically sensitive area. And there's other kind of nice, I think the white pine, the red oak, the maple, the viburnum, but I think you might also consider some other things like American holly, which also produces berries for birds, black cherry, serviceberry, which is
So you're
really
gonna-
drought resistant.
You're going to get black cherry in there.
Black cherry,
That's
birch.
gonna grow all by itself.
Yeah. New Jersey tea actually is a really good one that grows to about 3 feet. That's drought resistant as well. That doesn't need a lot of water.
What was that one? New Jersey tea?
New Jersey tea.
I'm looking each one of these up as you go.
Witch hazel is native. That also is kind of a good understory.
Blueberry?
So it just gives you a little bit more diversity, I think, in terms of like growing in. I think if you plant too many plants together as sort of one monoculture, if one gets diseased, they all get diseased. If you kind of intersperse, then you don't run the risk of disease.
Did you say blueberry cow?
I was asking about high bush blueberries.
Yeah. It's a little more kind of moist. It needs a little bit more moisture. Not as drought resistant as some of the other ones, but that's a good one.
Hopefully it's a much wetter summer this year than we had last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of looking like it's going that
I
way.
know. You never know.
The drought is officially over.
Officially,
Amazingly not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Bonnie,
No,
maybe a context consideration to have in place. When I went out and did my little tree survey, all the seedlings are coming up. The understory and the mid-story is going to come back real fast. I think my own issues for restoration aren't so much the 5 to 15 foot tall ballpark because there's a seed bank; it'll take care of itself.
Yeah,
Is the
definitely.
high overstory,
Yeah,
the things that need a jump start.
right. And getting the height,
Yeah, and
getting the
so
sun.
thinking of the chart that I put together for everybody, I think there ought to be sort of a cutoff on the DDH in like the 10, 15, 20 ballpark.
What's DBH?
Diameter of breast height, which basically is taking measuring tape and wrapping it. So, something like this might be like a 1 foot DBH. So
That's a 1 foot.
So you're proposing,
that's like 12 inches going from here to here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what
Ish.
yeah.
circumference.
Yeah.
I thought it was diameter of breast.
It's diameter.
yeah,
Yeah,
Diameter.
diameter. Like,
You can back it out,
Yeah.
right? 2 pi r squared,
Well, anyway, so yeah, a rough measuring tape.
right? Wasn't circumference 2 pi r?
circumference.
Right.
If if you,
Right.
No,
if you measure around, that's 2 pi r, that's circumference.
Circumference.
Pi r squared is radius, so 2 times pi r squared.
And the DBH is not the circumference, it's diameter, so you have to.
Basically, what I was doing out there was remembering from when I did forestry work that they called it deviation. All we did was wrap the tape and take that measurement. So anyway, those measurements are
Circumference.
That's circumference.
You were CBH.
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 Yeah.
For whatever reason, apparently DBH is the
CBH.
lingo that I remembered. Anyway, so
Basically divide by 3, right?
Yeah.
so obviously geometry not my strong suit.
It's all right.
But basically, the thought process I had was that if you sort of crossed out the understory and focused on the overstory, and then just did some arithmetic, you'd come to a sense of what the restoration planting plan perhaps ought to look like, and leave the understory and the midstory to sort of take care of itself. Because with the full sun on a forest canopy with an intact seed bank, all of those things are going to go so fast that, like, if you planted, say, a blueberry, it would be right in there with everything else that's going to come up naturally in many ways. It'll have a year's head start, but everything else will just come up. It's the things that take longer to get higher
Yeah.
that need the real assist.
Right. I mean, a 6-foot white pine is, you've already given it, so to get to 6 feet, my height, that's probably, that's like probably 5 years. It's 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 to 6 years actually.
For the record, are you saying you're 6 feet
It's
tall?
probably a 2-inch DBH. something.
Well, yeah, I'm 6
Just,
feet tall.
I just didn't know, I just
I'm
wanted to
saying
make sure.
5 feet.
I just wanted to, I just,
5 to 6 feet,
I'm-
whatever. Plus or minus a foot.
It's all right, Bonnie, I say,
You get-
I
you
think
get
the
my
same
point.
thing. I think I'm 6 feet
shooting
tall.
for a lot of specificity here, I just want to make sure we're on track.
Oh, you must
5,
probably think you're 6
6,
feet all the
6'2".
time.
So what I'm hearing, you're worried about monoculture. Brian is mentioning making sure that we get maybe a slightly better spread of plants. And I think you made a very good point about the junipers, and I don't want to mess up the pronunciation, but Chinesis hetzi, which, as you mentioned, is not native. So so with these here, so based on that, which is 12 to 18 inch, which is of course basically a pot size, right?
Yeah.
So what did you see in here? I'm always a huge fan of blueberries, but they don't fill in quite the same way. The juniper, if it's replaced with red cedar, is perennial, so it will, as an evergreen, it'll stay. It'll provide understory for longer, all year round. I guess I'm not sure. Maybe the best thing to do is to now that when we last walked the site, it was covered in snow. So I'd be very happy to go back up, if for no other reason that gives us an opportunity to view other projects as we pass on the way. We can take a look at what that, I'm sure the understory, if it's doing anything, it's growing right now, right? And we can take a look at what's coming up today, and that might be formative for some of our discussions about the if there was a reason for additional plantings or seed mix up there. Might be a great place to put wildflower mix because it's getting all that sun exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a good place to get that wildflower mix on the outside of the
On the
fence.
outside, yeah.
Because while we're not talking about the other application, if we were talking about seeding in an area that needed to be mowed in order to maintain it, and there was going to be structure to the maintenance plan, etc., I agree with you. It's a shame that it would be, all one species. But if it's going to be mowed and worked over as a place where there's maintenance done,
I have another thought. And if you do the wildflower, if you do like the wildflower thing, you guys be a poster child for like solar in Massachusetts. Think about that.
well, this does feel like something to talk about while we're out on the site.
Sorry.
No, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I will say, if we're able to come up with something that they don't have to mow, we'll mow it.
Be
I-
cool.
We're on the same page. I just we would need more information, and I would rather that we also had the discussion with the applicant to say, what has your experience been? Because whatever we plant up there, it's not going to be the only thing that grows.
No, I know,
So
Oh,
other things are going to blow in,
definitely.
and they're going to have to mow.
definitely.
Because there's stuff that's not intended to be there is going to show up.
Yep.
And so I'd almost, ready? I'd almost rather see him stone the whole thing.
Stone the whole thing.
Absolutely.
What?
Done, one shot, just like
Still
all the sites we
rose
see.
to the
I don't
stone.
think
I am just telling you what would make the most sense from a, we have to work on a perspective.
Oh,
So, shall we schedule a site walk?
where are you from? What planet are you
Yeah.
from?
I'm with her.
What planet?
So it turns out
Oh, Mars.
that this weekend is a holiday. We do have June 3rd, which is the following Saturday.
But I won't be here. June 3rd.
Would you like to combine this with the other one?
It's so late in the day.
No,
It's not gonna work.
I think the person of interest is least available for both.
Is the person of interest available other days this next week? Perhaps.
This weekend?
Just curious. Just curious.
We can pretty much do any afternoon from our standpoint. Whatever works for you guys.
I hear tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fast.
After work.
It's
You
gonna
have-
rain all day.
Well,
It's gonna rain.
according to this, it's supposed to stop around 4 o'clock,
That might be perfect.
which is about when my lunch is going to stop. You want to do tomorrow?
I'd have to do after work. 5:30.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So, what time?
5:30. I'm trained by.
Suggest.
I just believe I could make it.
Jorge?
He's on the train too. We can go together. Right, George.
Well, I'm sensing that's not happening. Tashi? Can't make it. Okay. So why don't we say 6? That gives you guys time. The train, you got to get up the hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock on site.
Okay.
End of Rosewood. Okay. Now, I know that's not going to give you enough time to do your research into potentially other plants or things. You were doing a wonderful job listing stuff off, and I want to take that into account because clearly these are circles on a plan. It's not like they bought a bunch of shrubs yet, so it's not a...
Well, I would think that they want to get something in sooner versus later because, you know, the sooner you get, springtime is, you know,
Right.
the perfect time to
What was
plant.
it you were saying, the European plan?
Yeah, so so the Chinesis
Yeah.
Hertzie is from, it's actually
Okay.
from China, Japan.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it's an Asian variety. And I did actually write down, so basically it's susceptible to a blight called Phomopsis, which basically causes stem back when they're planted together.
More importantly, it sounds terrible.
All
Okay.
right.
So just one comment, just food for thought. So the way the math works, you know, on that random plot that I picked up, more or less, you know, from the 1 inch size up, you know, if you do the arithmetic, you know, about 7,000 trees all told were cut. And so then to do the restoration, if you just did the 5 biggest trees, you know, you took them as your marker, a restoration would be on the order of like 600 plants. So, you know, just an arithmetic for thought. Is that about right? Is 100 and...
I don't agree with your arithmetic.
That's all right.
I think there's, you know, if
There's a 50 square
mean, if
sample
you look at-
section, and it's 250 square feet, right?
yes, but if you're looking at the size of, and I'm not exactly sure what the measurement meant, but you know, you're going to have small saplings in
Oh,
the
yeah.
understory
Totally.
that if you tried to plant at that density, you were going
Oh,
to
no, I'm not even
choke.
talking about that. I'm saying of the
These-
44 that I found, just take 5 of those.
Well, but, okay, I mean,
Well, so there's 125 on here, okay, based on the density and the plan that's drawn today, okay? So I feel like this is a discussion that's better handled out in the field, because we walked through that area where we talked about cutting the trees down below. I have a sense of what this is going to feel like with the trees behind and the shrubs in the front, and I think what I'd like to see is them more spread out, but that's probably about it. The way it's laid out will probably provide the best view shed from the back, or lack of view shed from the back, and at the same time will cover the most ground, and that's one of the other reasons I really want to see what's already popping up, because there's already going to be a bunch of stuff that's already coming up in that space.
Right. And
So I kind of want to see what that is today.
Yeah. Well, just, the way is my sample site, if it were to refill fully the 40,000 square feet, it's a multiplier of 160. So 250 square feet goes into 40,000 square feet 160 times.
What was the exact number? 41? 41,000?
it's 41 and change.
So it's about an acre.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually 164, which would be 7,200 trees.
Right, of a very tiny nature to a larger size. And so just in the overstory scenario, just the very biggest of the trees, if you were to give them a head start, you're getting in the ballpark of a 600 tree planting if you just, 5 times 160, and I'm rounding down there too. So just, math for thought, that's all.
Well, I think I'd like to go out and we'll take a peek. I don't think you have to mark anything based upon what we know. Is the flagging still up? There were stakes back there.
The flagging,
did that stay up?
I haven't, was it up there when you were there?
No,
The
I didn't
fencing's up
see any.
there.
There might
The
still be
fencing,
some, but
the fencing is
Well, the
up,
fence is up. We'll be able to work off the fence.
and the clear
there
line.
was
is there.
flagging down in the depression in a couple of spots. I saw that, but I wasn't looking for the flagging up along the cut line.
Okay.
Okay. So, sir?
Are we going around, or?
Oh, I thought I did. Sorry. Jess?
No, I'm all set.
Oh, it just felt like it because of Bonnie.
Just
It's the cookies. I'm all on edge. Thank you again.
Blame the sugar.
Thank you again.
okay,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I won't pick on you.
Just what if there were a failure of this year's growth for any reason? What about? I'm just still thinking on the year guarantee.
We can condition certain
We can
things.
condition.
One of the things that I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into, so 1 year is typically a landscaper's guarantee.
Right.
Right? So you show up, landscaper shows up, he says, I guarantee it for a year. He plants them in May, and if by the next year you've lost any trees, he comes back and replaces them, which is a pretty legitimate thing for a landscaper to do.
Mm-hmm.
This, however, is an action which is being taken in regard to cutting of trees that weren't supposed to be cut. So it may be more responsible to look at a 2-year guarantee for the trees. If there's going to be maintenance happening here, the opposite of that is that the company that's doing the maintaining could come up and water the trees when they came up. So there might be an actual benefit to being out more frequently with the mowing. So I was thinking about that. I didn't want to say anything about it until I read about it, but to see if other commissions have done things differently. But I was in that ballpark of 1 year makes sense in your front lawn, but it may not make sense in this application.
Yeah. So that would make me happy. And then the other thing I had been thinking about, Bonnie's addressed on the diversity issue.
Well, we can talk about the different kinds of stone. George?
We'll get them tomorrow, off camera.
With the stone, with the stones.
So thank you. The reason I want to make sure I have a chance to speak, I might have a conflict on June 8th, just to be the next regular meeting where we might
Okay.
accept, so I want to make sure that my comments get in the record.
Just do.
I agree that anything you plant as part of this restoration plan should be a native species, so I agree with Tommy's comment there. In my experience, anytime that there's clearing of an area that occurs, one of the biggest concerns ought to be the opportunistic invasive species that might crop up there. I'm glad you went out there and took a look, but
It was pretty good, the rest of the understory.
so that makes me feel better, and I'm sorry that I missed the sidewalk, but I hope when you're out there that you try and see what else might be coming up, besides the native species. But for my part, I would want to see also in our special conditions some sort of invasive species monitoring requirement. To Bill's point and to Jessica's point, our permit's going to be good for 3 years, so I would be in favor of a 3-year guarantee.
For the invasives, or for
Well,
the
no,
growth.
3 years of monitoring for invasives, but also 3 years of monitoring for the success of the native plantings.
Yeah.
And the last thing I would say is also based on my experience, anytime you plant really nice, 5-6 foot trees near wetlands, the beavers love them, and they're going to find them, and they're going to eat them. So I don't see anything in here about protection. There's something about the trees won't be wrapped, but I don't think that's talking about a cage or anything. I would suggest that you strongly consider protecting the investment that you're going to make in the nursery stock by doing what you can to protect the
Chicken wire
trees
and
from beaver predation.
Oak and the maple.
For,
That's a good thought.
For what it's worth,
Just-
that woodland didn't really show much when I've tromped it a couple of times.
Yeah,
I mean, there was there,
yeah.
but generally in the in that depression area.
Well, that makes me feel better. I mean, I'm not saying that for sure you're going to get beavers, but
It might be too steep for them to get.
from what I've seen, I mean,
We know they're around.
Every tree planting restoration
Yeah.
project that I've seen that's in proximity to beaver habitat, the beaver's going to
They're there.
find some of them.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so Kathy, you're seeing them in your backyard?
No, sir, they still are, but now they've moved behind, Karen's yard. Here's where Karen lives, Karen.
Yeah, it's better land
She's
over there.
been
than-
disgusting with
We're gonna
Brian.
tell her you said that.
These are
About the
filmed.
beer. Yeah, she's disgusted too, but the beavers are making the water go on her land. But- so
Oh,
they're
they
down
backed
for
it up?
her- so
Yeah,
they
there's
are
a little
there.
dam
Thank you
down
for
there.
considering that, yes.
So I wouldn't necessarily require that you protect the trees, but it would probably be in the client's best interest to do that.
Good point.
Thanks.
No, thank you. Bonnie?
I had my turn, thank you.
Just checking.
Did I surprise you to say that?
And just if you guys go
Oh, no.
to the site, the dead horse I'm going to beat again would be that the additional unnamed tributary on the north side of James Brook. I've got an opinion that it would be perennial and it might increase the restoration area. Down there, you can see an old beaver dam. You can see the outlines of the former beaver pond. The stream that's flowing. Looks like it has a channel that it stays in. We never looked at that for perennialness or intermittentness at any point, but I don't know that beavers dam intermittent streams. But
I'm not so that picky. It's not listed, it's not shown on the USGS as even a stream.
right.
It's not even shown as an intermittent stream.
Plus, I think there are probably times when beavers are disappointed and they go, oh.
How close is it to the?
So this is here. The stream kind of runs through like maybe the graphic scale, give or take.
River.
No, the stream that feeds the river.
Oh,
There's another one out there. And so, the 200 foot from there would, be out here somewhere. And just if you're gonna go out, just have a look and, see if you want to explore that idea anymore.
Well, I do know that right now there are 2 intermittent streams that I walk by every day that are flowing very well right now. And were flowing even after the rain had stopped the other day.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
Right.
But I fully expect they'll be dried up by the end of June like they always are, so.
It just becomes an issue, we're no longer in a drought, so you could take measures to
Yeah, to
So it's not,
show that it's intermittent.
so we don't have
Conditions
to,
of
it's
the
not
storm.
shown on the map as being intermittent. It shows the stream.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not suggesting that
Yeah,
it's required, but
Yeah.
you would at least have that option.
right.
so here's what I have. First, a well-deserved thank you to Kathy for the cookies. Those were delicious. Second, I think we have a good feel for some of the items we'd like to look at and talk about tomorrow at 6 p.m., meeting at the end of Rosewood for the sidewalk. And third, if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to our next meeting on June 8th. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow evening.
All right.
All right. So I see the next application is for Phyllis, but we don't seem to have an applicant.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come back anytime.
Come back every evening.
Do you ever have residents go with you on those walks, or do you prefer to keep it?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So we had to, what we decided so that it didn't become a problem or a provocation is that the landowner, because of insurance purposes, the landowner doesn't have to have people who aren't on the commission on their property. So as you can imagine, for litigation purposes,
Oh, the people that.
the other folks can't go along with us.
That's fine. Okay.
We've talked about in the past saying, well, is it applicable in this case or in that case? But it really puts the applicant at a strain to say, well, you know, we have to stop at 10 people or something to that effect. So
Okay,
we promise we'll do the walk and we'll be able to report back at it at our next meeting.
okay. I trust you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay. So we are Phyllisless.
Yeah, sorry.
Still in
The solar on earth guys were, I thought they were gonna be here, but I don't know.
Oh,
maybe they forgot.
thank you. Okay.
So I think I can walk you through this pretty easily. You've got the plans, you've got the paperwork, the picture. This is the yard where they would be going.
Well, hold on. Why is there no applicant?
No reason. The solar guys were going to represent, and when I talked to them, they said they would be here. So I don't have a good reason. Maybe they just forgot.
If this is him, does it say he lives at 11 Willow Road? Well, that's what this says right here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's representative.
but they,
Yep.
so this is 144 Sandy
Yeah,
Pond
144
Road.
Sandy Pond is the
Yes,
applicant.
but the representative lives on Willow Road.
No, it's the business address.
I didn't know there was a solar company on Willow Road.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this project is like walking distance from their office.
Oh.
I'm uncomfortable opening this just. Hey Nathan, this is Bill Daniels with the Air Conservation Commission. Were you coming in to represent your project tonight? My name is Bill Daniels. I'm with the Air Conservation Commission. You folks have been working with Mrs. Phyllis Castor on Sandy Pond Road. Okay. We are. We'll be here till 10. I guess I'd just rather go through it with you. I don't have a lot of questions, but I guess I'd rather go through it with you just because you're the best person for us to entertain our questions with.
Green was a 4-color, but they kept it.
Okay, right.
They do 25 foot.
And then from here to here, 25 feet.
No,
We do.
yeah,
Well,
that's
there's.
38.
It's just basically our Conservation Commission. We're in Town Hall. Are you So if you come in downstairs, you'll see where the lights are on. Everything else is pretty much
Yeah,
off.
so this is the wet.
And we'll be here.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
We'll hold this until you can make it.
Mm.
You know where the post office and the town hall are on that that little road right there. Fantastic. We'll see you then. Thanks, Nathan.
Sometimes you have to spell out it's the side entrance and
Well, I said where the lights are on, and when you pull up, we're the only lights on if you walk down the hall. So, okay. He thought we were going to get back to him about attending. So, okay.
Guess we'll move on to the COCs then.
Can I get a drink of water? Kathy did not bring in milk.
Yeah, no,
I'm
go
sorry.
right ahead. Does anyone else need to take a health break while we're waiting? I know you
So,
don't have water.
Are we going to wait for him to show up, or you want to do the COCs, or?
Let's do the COCs. He was saying that he was waiting for you to tell him to come in. You can discuss it with him when he gets here. So let's do those COCs. We'll skip over this.
Anyway, all right. So there's one COC that is fairly straightforward. This 074 is for that project was to build the bridge over the brook to access the development, and so every lot in the development still has 74 on it, which is why we have so many orders. And then 135 is the number of the actual home construction, and the condition as written that you could hang this up or not. The applicant must submit to the commission a written report by a registered professional engineer status that work has been satisfactorily completed in compliance with all conditions of this order, which I did not receive. The other detail in here that I wouldn't even know how to handle, applicant must provide information that demonstrates that the compensatory storage volume is incrementally equal to the volume of floodwater at each elevation up to and including the 100-year flood elevation, which will be displaced by the project per 310 CMR 10.5742.
Can I see those?
Yeah.
So the only thing I can guess is that that would have been something that would have been exposed in a.
That's the performance standard for being allowed to do work within
The flood zone.
Flood zone.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just wondering. Just please be careful.
Yeah.
Just worried you're gonna trip
Try
yourself.
not to,
Okay. So
Awful language, though.
so this is 135. So we're saying.
I've got a file for 74 as well.
Oh, okay. So this is all 135 here.
Yeah, that's all. That's 135.
I gotcha.
What's the difference between 74 and 135?
74 is the bridge that enters the property,
Right, and that.
and so it's part of the road work.
Right, and that number applies to every
Okay.
home in the division.
And
then
135 is the house.
it's specific to the home.
This is Bennett's Brook. Bennett's Brook,
Oh, that's good.
right across from Hemlock.
Thank you. And I've got here, if you want to reference anything, the big plans for Bennett's Brook.
Is anyone unfamiliar?
Wow.
Bet they smell purpley.
This is lot 45 here.
And that's our
Right, and
applicant here.
so this is where the road begins to curve, and you can kind of see over the woods down into the creek area. So this is actually a strip between the houses, and then where the number 45 is written is roughly where this home is located.
Okay.
So that's the area. So I can flip to the right page.
So are these partials?
One is a partial, 74 would be a partial. 35 is 135 would be a full.
This is interesting. So 135 is actually a notice of intent. So what cued me on the front page is it says it's a $3,000 filing fee. It's $2,055 total. Oh, sorry. So excuse me. $2,055 total. $915 goes to the state. And this says that this one is actually for notice of intent for lot 26, 41 through 48. So this one would have to be a partial too.
Yeah, and the thing about that throws me as well is that if you look at the conditions, it references moving earth and dumping it on parcels, I think 54 and 55.
Sure, but I think that's for lots 26 and then 41 through 48.
So he asked for a full on the 135. But the rest of the NOI is built as if it's a single home. So I don't know if this is, and this is something I bumped into as I was doing that database, is that Bennett's Brook is deeply, deeply confusing how they did and arranged the way that their DEP numbers overlap.
So who is this Mr. Thalheimer?
The lawyer representing the sellers in the home transaction.
So he's just representing one of the owners, is that right?
Right. Apparently the other lawyer involved in the transaction has yelled at him a lot. But
So he's the seller.
So this was from your records and it said lot 45 right here?
yeah, that one you're holding is my original. And one of the things that
And it
picked
said
up-
lot 45. It said this is exactly how it was in the file?
No, that's not exactly how it is in the file. That is the file.
I guess I'm just having difficulty understanding why there's a $2,000 filing fee for a single lot.
One of the other details that's strange about the Bennett's Brook paperwork, and which may explain one of the observations you made, is that it looks like they just cut and pasted everything but the cover sheet. They just ran copies. And so the reference you made to several lots being included, all of those lots reference each other as the full set, but it's 130, 131, 132, 133 is the DEP numbers individually for the home lots.
So you're thinking that they filed for 45 home lots and that's why it says $2,000. You think Janet just added them up?
I think that she changed as few details as possible in each individual DEP number.
Where's the other one, please? 74.
This one's a little bit more confusing.
I will feel much better if the answer on the front page of this is 2,055.
Well, that's a whole different set of applicants.
I understand.
Yeah. You want me to go up and get some of the other 130s?
So, hold on. So this is really weird.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know what you're thinking, and I totally agree.
Did you see this one? So do you know who the Miskas are? So Jacob played soccer with their boy. So this is Walter and Christine Miska. They live on Madigan Lane. And yet this says that the project site is located at 28 Robbins Road.
They moved.
They moved.
I think they moved.
You think they moved there from here?
I think they moved to Madigan Lane from Robbins.
Oh, so that was a closing thing. Maybe they were in their new house already, and they had to clear out.
Yes, I'm not
Yeah.
privy to this stuff.
No, that would be wonderful because it's interesting. They're very specifically on Madigan Lane. I didn't know that they started on the other. Signed by a bunch of disreputable people too.
Yeah, you've got partials for 74 all over the place.
I just meant George. All right.
So if you want to compare 135 to some of the similar ones, I can go fetch a few.
No, I'm just trying to understand. I guess it just makes me uncomfortable that this one for lot 45 seems to include way more than the lot 45. But I don't know if that's, like you mentioned, because of the way that she dealt with the paperwork, or if it's for some other reason.
Well, is there a E transmittal that would indicate
Well,
in the application? For certain types of projects, costs go up this year, filling floodplain,
right.
riverfront area,
Let's find out.
part of an enforcement order, that kind of thing.
All right, this was in here.
And here, this belongs as the COC for 74.
Ryan, what were the requirements
Nothing.
for 74?
Don't put a sidewalk on the bridge.
And it was just for the bridge?
Yeah, the site location on, let's see what's on the OC, says 100 yards east of Shaker Mill Pond near Route 2A, like it really zooms in.
So you're saying that upstairs there are other lots?
Oh yeah, so many. Like basically 120 through 140 belongs to this.
So what's interesting is, so right here on the NOI, total filing fee submitted $250. Okay. This makes me feel better.
Could they have submitted a bunch of the individual NOIs and then all together and then,
Well, that's why I think this feels like a mistake.
yeah,
She very specifically typed lot 45 on there,
yeah.
right? That's not handwritten, it's typed on there. And that's the order of conditions, but here, distinctly different is the filing fee for that lot. And it states right here, lot 45. And this was Bruce Holmes before they went out of business. Okay. So, I'm glad we found that these are different, because that made me just really crazy uncomfortable, because it just didn't make a lot of sense.
Like I said, don't go too deep into the Bruce Holmes numbers.
Well, I don't really have a choice. So, I feel comfortable that the lot 45 information pertains specifically to our lot 45 as identified on the plan. And so the only question is, did you pass by the property?
I've been there, and as I said, I don't know how to judge that floodplain condition. It's been 20 odd years. But there is a requirement for a letter from an engineer, and if you were so inclined, you could ask for it.
I would be so inclined to ask for it and to get the floodplain,
Yeah, that would be included in the letter.
specifically charged with protecting the floodplain and making sure that.
Because the way that condition is written, it doesn't say that the job was done right, it says that the conditions were met. So the floodplain condition would have to be met as part of that letter.
Yeah, well, and that floodplain condition is the standard, is the performance standard for doing that work. So it's,
All right.
if they came in today and proposed filling floodplain, they would have to meet that. And everything.
Okay, so number one, I agree with Takashi. Number two, I do feel comfortable that it's misprinted on that face, that the application, the information is correct. I think the dollar's misprinted.
No, I
Dollars.
think it could be right. It depends on what was actually proposed. I mean, well, because if I'm looking at that plan, they're close to the brook.
Well-
No, it disappears.
I guess where I'm coming from is on their NOI right here, it says $250. I was concerned that it said $2,000 on there,
Yeah.
and that this was not just lot 45, that it was part of a bigger framework. And what I'm saying now is, seeing this 250,
Yeah.
that it mentions lot 45, that one specifically mentions lot 45. I think she just carried over whatever the numbers were. So my biggest concern was, this doesn't make sense. Now, I think looking at this, seeing the plan marked with the lot, it makes sense that it would be $250, which means that really is an order of conditions that stands alone for this lot. That's what I was worried, is that by signing off on it, we were signing off on more than we biting off more than we could chew. So,
Who's the engineer on that plan?
it was Ross on this, on the application here.
Charles Perkins drew the big plan.
And Ross is on the NOI, okay.
Yep.
What's going on?
Okay. So, we have two folks who are interested in a letter. Jess, your thoughts?
No, I think we should keep to a certain precedent, not setting a new precedent.
Agreed? George agrees. Bonnie?
I agree.
Okay. Could you please let the applicant know? That's the back, so I don't lose it. And I'm assuming that there's no letter in here about the bridge either?
No, and the bridge doesn't ask for one.
Really?
If it's been accepted as a town road, then probably.
Probably as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Cookie away. Keep the cookie away. Sounds cookie.
Nobody else wants it?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's married and has a baby. He can let himself go now.
Even if he tried, he probably couldn't let himself go.
Yeah, we all said that one. All right, so with the basis, so we just talked about the first one, which was 135, requires a letter. So the second one is 74. It's the bridge. We've actually already issued several of these. Excuse me. There's a bunch of letters in here from attorneys from the 90s on through addressing this.
So we are asking for a letter from the engineer,
For 135.
135. And what about the floodplain thing?
It's the regular standard that obviously.
I would ask the engineer to include that.
Include.
Right, because the language is in regards to specifying, the engineer will affirm that the conditions were met.
So this one's kind of fun. So this is the original notice of intent for the property. It addresses the crossing, the drainage area of the brook, talks about the head walls, and you know it's old because there are no area codes shown on here. 87.
Yeah, we didn't
Wow.
used to have to do that, did we?
Oh, it was around,
1987.
no, it was 87, 88. That's when the first area codes came out, right?
Really?
Yep, because if you were a Belmont resident, you were all upset.
Where was I in 87?
A lot of
We didn't
folks,
have phones.
a lot of Remember just inside of 128, all those people were angry because they didn't want to be not 617 anymore.
Oh, that's right. I
Remember that?
Yep. Yep.
Remember that? And they were
Yeah.
like, oh no,
Yeah.
we need to maintain our 617-ness.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I've always been 617, so I never changed.
Well, we didn't
Never
used
had
to
to.
have to put in the area code. for Darwin Road.
That's right.
Well, no, you just
It
popped the
was-
thing and
Yeah.
said operator,
Put
operator.
in your penny.
Connect me to
Yeah.
Chevy transmission 74.
Moving right
We're
along.
just dialing 4 numbers. Remember dialing 4 numbers?
No.
This is where we get off on tangents. I did it. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. There's no
Remember
question. That was me.
Party lines?
Okay,
We still have a lot to
George, you
do.
remember party lines growing up, right?
so pretend. Okay, so we have adequate information in here that the original NOI 100-74 was for the entire project and the bridge. The roads have all been accepted by the town. There's no reason not to move forward and sign off on this certificate of compliance for one partial certificate of compliance for 100-0074 for lot 45. Anyone have any thoughts otherwise? Excellent. I would entertain a motion to issue a, this is not checked, partial, right?
Yeah. Hi guys. Hey, am I here to talk about solar?
You are in 2 seconds.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
this is a partial certification, and it states on here. It does not have on here that it's lot 45. So I'm going to write that in under partial.
I think that that's in the project location. It's lot 45/22 Robbins.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
no.
No, that's sorry. I wrote that in differently. I wrote that in
This one just says 100 yards east of
Right.
Shaker Mill Pond.
right because that's where the project is located.
So this is partial certification for lot 45. So I would entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance 0074 for lot 45 partial certification.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Started signing before you said anything. Thank you. Okay. Go by Nathan or Nat?
Nathan,
How are you tonight, Nathan?
I am doing great, and yourself?
Good, thank you.
We didn't.
Down.
Somehow our COO, I think, was told by I'm not sure someone that he didn't have to be here.
Oh, that's yeah. We had miscommunication there.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we'll make it quick.
Yep, no problem.
Who's our buddy?
It's my son Nico.
Hey, Nico.
Just turned 3 years old.
Nico, I'm sorry to bother you and keep you up late, buddy. We're going to make this quick.
It's okay, Mr. Daniels.
Going to make it quick, buddy. All right. So let's open our RDA public meeting for the project located at 144 Sandy Pond Road. So, Nathan, if I understand, is this the project that's right next to Sandy Pond 3 and across from the church?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. And so right now, the plan was to install 14-foot posts, 7 foot up, 7 foot down,
Yes,
set in
sir.
concrete.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And in this particular case, Brian, our wetland is behind us and beside us.
Mm-hmm. There's a green line that's very hard to see, but you can find it. If
Oh,
you
I
look
can
at
see it
the-
right there.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the 100?
That is the boundary of the wetland.
That's the wetland line.
And then you can see it's drawn off 25 feet, and then 38 feet, and then 45 feet, the distance to the actual panels themselves
Gotcha.
from the wetland edge.
Okay.
And you can see it here as well on the screen. Basically, the end of the yard is the start of the wetland.
Okay.
And then the panels, you see this strip of green with the garden here?
Mhm.
You can make that out on your own image. That's brown versus green kind
Yep.
of square portion.
Great. So,
So it's just 2 poles?
Yes, ma'am.
just 2.
Uh-huh.
No trenching?
A little bit. It's going to be about 24 inches deep.
Okay.
We're redoing her electrical for her, too, because it's a problem.
There's
How
gonna
is
be
she? How is she fed?
right there from the solar panel in across that
Correct.
into the house right
Yep.
in there.
Why am I not seeing the tree on this overhead?
She actually wants the tree removed as well because it's creating issues, and she's scared.
The tree is the black shadowy bit
Yeah.
on your picture next to the panel closest to
I
the
mean,
house.
we love trees,
Okay.
don't get me wrong. She just says it's creating an issue for her right now, and she's been wanting it removed, so we're trying to assist her with that, too, as well.
Okay. So let's start from the easy part. So does anyone have an issue with the tree removal?
Just gonna just leave the root in.
I think we're gonna go as deep as we can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you prefer that the stump was left, or I think she would want it to be. I don't want it to be left like.
Probably like 50 feet, right? From the,
Right, it's
Where I'm
within
seeing
50
the
feet.
shadow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it's this gray shadow right here.
Even before, like, we showed up and we're talking to her about solar, she's had her concerns about the tree. Not the actual just, hey, let's remove a tree, but the concerns of the tree is so close to the house and it's really has aged not well, at least. Too bad we couldn't get pictures that were a little bit higher up and you could see
Yeah.
the, I don't know, the trunk doesn't look bad, but once you start to look up in the tree, it doesn't look like it's doing too well.
No,
you know?
so based on about how long the house is and how far away it is, the tree's, plus or minus 30 feet away from the house. I don't have any problem with tree removal in those circumstances. I also don't have any problem if you guys dig around it and grind it, if that works best.
I'd like to put one of the pole mounts, if you kind of think about it, so we can stay a little bit further away from the street, almost like near where the stump is going to be, if that's possible. So we're not
closer-
making things. I don't want to make things too crowded, like in her yard or anything. We want to still make it look nice.
Sure. Okay, so here's what a typical application like this is about for us. So the solar panels aren't a big problem once they're installed. They don't change over time. They don't require pruning or trimming,
Nope.
right? But in order to put the solar panels in, you're going to have to dig 2 fairly large holes, and you have to do something with the soil. And you're going to have to trench all the way to the house.
Yep.
And you were just saying you're going to do some other service. Is she overhead to that side of the house?
I believe it is, but even if it's not, we could still enter on that side and then
Yeah.
run a conduit inside to where her panel is. Her panel's on. If you look at the front of the house, her panel's actually on the far left.
Right.
So it's on the opposite side of the house. We would just run it inside if we need to.
Basement?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
But the trench that we're going to dig is only going to be 24 inches. It's a low traffic area. We're going to reuse that soil to fill that trench again.
Yeah.
And as far as the soil that we're removing to put the pole mounts in is minimal. But if you want us to, I'm sure she wouldn't mind keeping it in that area, like for her garden or whatever, if it has to happen, that's no problem. But she's already starting to work on her garden right now. So
Well, although as you go deeper, it's going to probably get sandier.
Yeah.
okay, all
On the
right.
site today, I think you mentioned trucking it out, but yeah,
Okay.
as you said, if she wants it, she can.
I mean, we're really looking at maybe like a pickup bed, full of dirt.
Right. No,
If
no,
that,
no, no. We
you know.
understand.
Yep.
So our concern is that it doesn't find its way into the wetland behind the house.
No, it's not.
Okay. So this is why these meetings are so important for us to
Oh
have this
yeah, for sure.
conversation.
Yep.
Okay. So, because for one thing,
I think if you don't have conservation, then people just do whatever they want to do.
it
and
turns
that's the
out
problem.
that's true.
We work on a lot of solar farms, so we do this process often. Yep.
No, and I think we look
Yep.
forward to actually catching up with you guys. We didn't realize you guys were right here in Ayer.
Yep, right
So-
down the street.
Okay. So what we're looking at is soil out of the trench will be backfilled back into the trench.
Yep.
There will be extra. There always is.
Yeah,
As
I
long
mean,
as-
the conduit's only about an inch thick.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It
Always
might be a
amazed.
little bit extra for the trench itself.
Right.
But
No, always amazed.
yep.
So you've got the 2 holes, and then at that point, the only thing we would ask is that there be no material left on site that wasn't in the garden, which of course is a
Not
disturbed
at all.
area.
Yep.
And then the last thing would be just make sure that the area where the trench is seeded. If you guys are going to do that.
Wait, the area is reseeded?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you have anything, Jess?
Just clarification. So you're putting a pole up. How big is the array on each pole?
Do you mind if I see the design real quick?
It says 9 panels.
I mean, each panel, since they're landscape, these are about what type of panels are these? Are about close to 6 feet wide. So you're talking 6, 12, 18 feet wide, roughly right around there. And then you're talking about 3, 6, 9 feet, but you're at like a 38-degree tilt.
Yeah.
So it's not really 9 feet tall. You're
Right.
probably talking like closer to maybe 6,
This,
But then you have the pole in the back, so you are still a little bit elevated.
right. It says you're 7 feet up, and then it's tilted. Says 30 degrees, and it says that from
Yeah.
front to back, it's 15'6".
Yeah. I would prefer to go with a little bit of a steeper tilt, which is always better for solar if you're a little over 30 degrees, like, 38 is optimum for Massachusetts at least, but if that's what they want to do, 30, I guess,
We're
Yep.
not worried about that.
Yeah.
But no, for discussion's sake. Did you have
Yep.
anything else? No. Okay, sir.
But the reason why, just to cut into the solar set, the reason why we're doing pole mounts specifically for her is her structure does not qualify for solar.
Oh, her house.
It does not have a good, the structures, we don't want to create issues, and there's issues with structure and stuff right now, so she wants to go solar, so we've got a solution for her,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she's super psyched about it, her and her husband. Yeah. And she's lived in town, I believe, for quite a long time. Yeah.
George?
Here, they're requesting determination of the boundaries, the resource area are accurately delineated, and these were done off of aerials, so we probably don't want
to confirm those.
to confirm those.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you didn't fill this out?
No.
Okay.
I believe Paul did.
Okay. So I just want to make you comfortable with what George just said. So when we do a determination of applicability, what a determination of applicability means basically is the state has a Wetland Protection Act.
Yep.
And determination of applicability for a project is, does the law apply to your project?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, you have a very minor project.
Yep.
And so what we can say in this case is we can issue a positive determination of applicability, which would be that, no, this doesn't apply, we need to go for a full notice of intent, which is a bigger process. Or we can issue a negative determination of applicability and say that the law, as it is written, doesn't apply to your project because it's so minimal.
Yep.
Okay? There are two boxes checked on here. The first one is what I was just saying. Whether the area depicted on the plan or map is subject to jurisdiction under wetland protection. So are we saying that the law applies or not? So based on what we talked about with the trench and the two post holes, unless anybody has a different idea, that should be just fine. We would issue a negative determination of
Okay.
applicability. The law doesn't apply.
Okay.
But the second box is checked. The second box says you're requesting that we would determine if the boundaries of the resource area depicted on the plan are accurately delineated. The problem is they're not delineated at all.
Okay.
They're approximated off of aerial photographs.
Okay.
So we wouldn't want to call those delineated if for no other reason than they're not delineated.
I'd rather go with your first choice.
Right. So what ends up happening is that a delineation is when a wetland biologist goes out, they identify the plant species, and they take soil samples, and they say, nope, this is where the wetland is, and that's a delineation.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying here is we can't say that.
Okay.
So what we would want to do is we just change that on here.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure you know what we were talking about,
Yep,
so you
that's
could
good.
explain it to Paul.
Yep.
Okay. Takashi, did you have a further
I
question?
would say
sir?
that, rather than, so we would uncheck box B.
Right.
I would check box C, so it would be A and C.
Whether the work depicted referenced
Yeah,
is
he
subject.
has a specific project, which is the two pole mounted arrays
Yep.
and some conduit, so that's why I think it would be A, the area depicted on the plan, and C, the work depicted on the plan.
No, that's perfect. All still headed in the right direction.
Have you been out there, Brian? The pictures look like it's fairly level in the back.
I've driven by here 1,624 times. It's level.
Any concern
Yeah.
about the road?
Not even a little.
All right, yeah, I'm good.
It's actually 1 million. Anyway,
So do we make those changes on the boxes?
yeah, we're gonna figure that out in a second. Bonnie?
And then it's one question, so it says 25 feet away from the wetland, and then on the map it's, am I reading that right? It's actually more, like 38 and 44?
Wait, is there a difference?
Or is there another,
He probably was just reading the wrong number.
yeah, maybe just, because better to have a bigger number,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Maybe,
and then down below it says 2 TPMs are approximately 39 feet and 45 feet.
oh, I can see
Yep.
that, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Brian,
can see that,
when Brian fills out the description on the determination, he can
okay,
correct those.
Yeah,
Reflect
yeah.
what's on
yeah,
the plan.
yeah.
Okay. So there's only one more small thing. Do you have one of these that's signed? So here's what we can do.
Uh-huh.
This one isn't signed, but I'm sure Phyllis would be thrilled to sign one.
Yep.
Okay, we would uncheck box B. Okay, so it feels like I don't want to say we start over again, but we may want to start over again, just from an application standpoint. Okay, so we want to keep the check on box A, uncheck box B, check box C, and then we want to make sure that the project description is representative of what it says under the work description, 39 and 45 feet away. And then it would be great if the applicant signed it.
So the area description has to be reconciled with the work description.
Yeah.
And I would add the minor trenching work for the conduit, and if the tree is to be removed and stumped, to add that as well.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, if you put the tree on here, what that means is normally within the buffer you would need to come to see us for an RDA to do the tree work. So by wrapping it up in here, makes it simpler.
Okay.
That way, later on, if someone challenged you guys, you could say, no, that was in our RDA.
All right, cool.
So tree work and the trenching.
And she likes the tree, don't get me wrong. She's just a little scared about
No, I think
yeah.
I
It's
think
pretty
there's
big.
a point, there's a point where everybody gets worried that the tree's going to hit the house. It's just how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to vote on this, but we don't have a signed application. I don't know how I feel about that.
Do you want to sign something that, as long as I have an application that meets the standards just outlined, and all the determinations are checked appropriately, you know, I can just sort of handle that in between meetings?
I don't have a terrible problem with that. Do you have any issues with
When are
it?
you doing the work?
We like to do it as soon as possible. She's like, she wants it. She comes to her office often, so.
I don't want to hold anybody up, and I don't
Yeah.
think we're talking about a real problem here.
You could do it just a conditional
Yeah.
approval, continuing upon what you just mentioned.
Okay. So, do you have a sheet we can sign?
Yeah, I handed it down.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. So, I would accept a
Although
motion.
I'll need to edit that to
Yeah.
reflect the tree removal, the trenching ads.
Yep.
So, I'll tweak that as well.
Right. Luckily, it's not on the pages we're signing.
Right.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability that the law does not apply to the project located at 144 Sandy Pond Road with the following determinations. Part A, that the area depicted on the plan is in an area subject to Wetland Protection Act, and C, that the work depicted is subject to the Wetland Protection Act.
Can I amend that and make it easier?
Sure.
How about I move that we issue a negative number 3 determination?
You want to make it easy?
Yeah,
Check.
that the work is within the buffer zone but shall not,
Will not alter an area subject to protection under the Act, does not require filing. That's beautiful. All right. And that said application for RDA would be signed by the applicant.
contingent upon the stuff in there.
Correct.
Second.
Do you feel comfortable with all that? Okay. Everybody all comfortable? Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. I'm really glad you came in. I'm
Yep.
sorry we dragged you away.
No,
Sorry
I'm glad
you
to
go.
actually meet you guys because we're from here too. And she's psyched. She's
Yeah.
psyched.
I
Yeah.
heard that today.
Yeah.
We'd be very happy to see you guys come
She
back.
just wants to be a part of solar. I don't think it's really about the savings and stuff. She just, that's her thing.
No, that's good. That's really good.
Save some money.
Oh yeah, no, she will. But I mean, I don't think that's her main reason.
All right. Well, you can tell Paul you did a great job. If he has any questions, he can call me and ask me. I'll tell him.
guys my card just so you guys have it. Okay, we got 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
It's been a long day for everybody.
I know.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for your
Thanks so
time.
much. Have a good night.
Accounts payable?
There you go. We kept a baby open. Kept a baby awake all night. Well, you should be excited. He's the CEO. He didn't take half credit for it. You can all email him later. All right. So, did you guys do meeting minutes?
Yes.
Okay. And were there any announcements?
Just that I finished the first draft of that permit database. And roughly speaking, of the 400 DEP numbers in town, roughly speaking, there are 1,300 parcels that fall under those 400 numbers, and roughly speaking, 300 of them have COCs.
That's pitiful.
There's some, cleaning up of the data to do. I'm sure those numbers will change, but they won't change by
Well, when you look at a Bennett's Brook,
Bennett's Brook is probably a quarter of them.
right? And then you throw in Pondview and
Mhm.
okay. So first, we have 2 items from Brian. One is for the wetland plant ID, which from our meeting we said we were excited to have you take. It's for $80, and you've already paid for it. I would entertain a motion to pay for this class for wetland plant ID. And did we say we were going to do it out of the wetland funds? Can we do that out of the wetland funds?
You can.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to pay the $80 for the wetland plant ID class out of our wetland funds.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. I should get a stamp. It does these 5 lines so that I do them better. Next is Brian's field visits and mileage. 185 miles at a rate of 0.535 for a total due of 98.975. Is that the town's rate?
What is
The
it?
IRS rate.
Is it
Yeah.
535 now? Wow.
They changed it
They-
last summer.
They change it every year.
I think they updated it last summer.
I'm surprised they didn't drop it. Well, only because fuel went down. I'm not being a smart guy. Just fuel went down. I would have, if anything, I would have expected them to drop the rate. Interesting. I'm just wondering.
What time period are we covering?
From January 2017 to May of 2017.
And what was the amount again?
Amount is $98 and 97.5 cents. You can't do that. So $98.98. I would entertain a motion to pay for vehicle mileage in the town of Ayer, 185 miles for $98.98.
So moved.
Second.
Friendly amendment. I don't think we can pay for this out of wetland protection money, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So,
Well, actually, technically, you probably could. Because the wetland protection money is for the administration and enforcement of the Wetland Protection Act. And as we don't have a bylaw, all of those drafts had to do with the administration and enforcement of the state's act.
Point though, we have money in our budget.
You have money in the
Regular
budget for it.
Why use the wetland fund?
so
Yeah.
money to Mr. Colleran out of our regular
Regular.
funds. Do you want to accept my friendly amendment?
Sure.
Thanks. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay. So we took care of Phyllis, we took care of Nick, and we took care of Nick. Actually, we took care of 74. This one we said need a letter. Okay. So we're clearly very short on time. I feel like I really want to do the goals and objectives, but I don't think we have time to do that. And as much as I love all of you, I'm going home on time. Do you have something that's really crucial? Because I can see you.
Oh, just one thing is, Kohler Place, I think you put in another foundation. I think it's outside jurisdiction, but it would be worth checking.
Another foundation?
A little one, yeah, next to his house to the left.
Oh, because his house is the lot that is out of jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole lot, though?
Out of
I think
jurisdiction?
Yeah.
that one lot is, okay.
The water bends out there.
Yeah, but was the whole lot out of jurisdiction or just his house portion of it?
To be checked.
To be checked.
Okay.
Secondly,
Because I think it was the house wasn't. But go on, sorry.
Secondly, the house closer to where I am,
Mm.
they've dug into that surface along the Cowley strip. It's a straight drop off.
Mhm.
Is that kosher? 'Cause now it's
Start over.
Okay, so it used to be you'd walk through the woods from my neighbors over into Kohler Place and you'd be da-da-da-da-da-da.
So you would
Down a
trespass.
slope.
Just want to be
Back in the
clear.
old days, yes.
Yeah.
Now it'd be you da-da-da-da-da,
Right,
straight down.
correct.
Can they do that?
No idea.
Well, so hold on. Is it on the plans?
Is it on plans? I don't,
Is
I
it
don't-
jurisdictional?
It is not jurisdictional.
Okay. So it's not jurisdictional.
all right,
Okay. Well, no, just
Okay.
so it's upland.
right.
Okay. You're saying that on their own property, they have a steep drop off.
Right.
So you're saying you could be injured if you were trespassing.
Yes.
Okay. George?
And then-
No, you have more?
Yeah, and then the third thing is AJ was gonna mark off a path to the water.
Right, so we could see what he was planning to do.
I think it's time for them to do that.
Has he
we were
not done
gonna
it?
do that like
We're
a
gonna
month and
do
a
it.
half ago, and then we got sidetracked.
Okay.
He and
So
I were
just
gonna go out
remind
and
him,
do
'cause we're
a
gonna do a
first look.
site walk on that.
I guess
At some point.
it won't kill me if he waits until fall to do that.
He has to request it.
Right.
Here's what I assume is going to happen this summer.
Yeah.
His boys
Are gonna be.
are going to walk through the woods,
Yeah.
and they're going to figure out the best path. And when they get
Mhm.
done, we're going to go take a look at it. And my
Okay.
guess is it's probably going to be the best path.
Okay.
Well, because it's a footpath. It's not they're not riding ATVs on it.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Then, so did you put more detail into the logbook?
No, because I was gonna wait and see what you had to say about that.
Okay. What do we want to? So, times, dates, where you go.
Well, I'm just trying to get what you're trying to actually accomplish, because
Well, right
I've
now
got
it
so
says
many-
you went on a field visit. So
well, right, but I've got field visits in other manners. You know, like the photos, the mileage reports, the emails. You know, the conversation. You know, so what you're actually trying to get to.
Sure.
You know, then
So in my business, we do field visits all the time, and especially when we were doing a bigger project, the guys would literally 8.5 by 11 sheet, and at the top of it, they filled out what site they were on. Of course, it was different sites during the day. Filled out what site they were on. They filled out what the weather was. They filled out who they met with. They filled out what the conditions were. They filled out what the project was in the state of where it was in the project. And they made any notes of anything that was important. And the reason that that was valuable was because we ran into a couple of situations where later on people say, well, I wasn't there that day. And we flip back through the notebook and we say, Peter was on site and he met with you and Fred. And they say, oh, now I remember. And you say, sure. The other thing is it's a legal document. After you document it and keep it in your notebook, afterwards, if there was ever a cause to come back and say who you met with or what the conditions were on site, your notebook becomes admissible in court.
okay.
So if you're going to go out and do visits, then we need to document those visits to the extent that later on they would be useful, the documentation would be useful to say we went out. And what it really comes down to is you do 100 visits and 98 of them you document and it's unnecessary for anything later, but it's good to know you were out there and what the situation was. In those other 2 times, we can show that you have a pattern of documentation, that your documentation is done a certain way, and therefore there's more validity to the documentation on the time that we need it.
Okay. So what I'm doing already, is something more like, like I was out over at Nemco Way the other day, and so there's an email chain, to make a date with the go out and have a look, and then going out and taking the pictures. And so these are coming off of the internet, which has a location tracker, so you actually georeference where the photos were taken, and then they're saved, online as well here. And so you've got the weather, you've got the location, you've got the status, and so in a manner of speaking, it feels like I did. It's the goal is accomplished already.
Well, most of the goal
Right,
is
so what's
accomplished
the goal?
already.
So what's not?
So at this point, we don't know if you met with anybody, and we don't know what the status of the project is. So if you have notes that you've taken and you say, so I agree with you that this picture, that's a panoramic picture.
Mhm.
So that panoramic picture does a great job of pointing out what you can see in the picture, but it doesn't speak to how much of that's done as far as the plans are concerned. It doesn't speak to, they tell me they're wrapping up next week, they're looking for other information. It's that level of detail. It's just a minor note or two that fills in the blanks on who you met with, what came out of that meeting, and where you're headed from here.
So then, do you want to say, send me the one that your company uses, and I can tweak that to perhaps speak to this particular space?
I so wanted to. So I will. We were talking about this just the other day during our meeting the other night, and I actually went looking, and we don't use it anymore. And the reason that we don't use it anymore is that we don't do those projects anymore. We do much faster, quick-hitting projects, which don't have the same level. But I can gin one of those up in about 5 minutes. So
So if you're talking about like a site visit form, site
Mhm.
inspection, I can provide them to Brian. That only
That'd be
covers
wonderful.
site inspections, it doesn't also cover other stuff.
Well, why don't you
Just
pass
for
the...
information, Brian, I like yellow notepads because my desk is a huge mess and I can find the yellow paper amidst the white paper. You don't have to use yellow, but every day that I
That's
come
good
in,
thinking.
I mean, you know, I write the date, I write the time that I get in, any phone call I get, I write it down. Any email that I reply to, I write it down. It just helps me keep track of what I've done.
Mm.
It also helps me identify things that I forget to do or didn't follow up on. So, you know, the site visits are one thing.
Well,
but
you know
then
what-
it's also just, you know, and doing that, I think, will then help you perhaps become more efficient at maybe doing sort of strategizing how to do certain things that come up. I don't know.
Well, you know what? So here's another way to do that. So you like the bound notebook.
No, I'm much more electronic than paper.
I understand, but you got the bound notebook as opposed to like a college rule.
That's just because it happened to be in the drawer.
Okay. Do you have a preference on the kind of notebook?
The iPad, actually.
Pick a notebook.
They're all the same. They're just paper.
Okay. So
I believe Becky had one with a stitch binding and pre-numbered pages.
Becky did that just to challenge us on what we'd
Wow.
accept.
Well, we used to do that in construction too.
Right. So we used to do the same thing. I don't know that we're at that level, especially where you can document so much better in the photos than we used to do in the past. What would probably work the best is even if you just either took that pad you have now, and today's a fresh day, and you write at the top 525, and you say that it is 60 degrees out and it's cloudy, showers, and then you jot down and you put down the address of the places that you visit, and you list them out. And if you meet with somebody, you put the person's name, or you say didn't meet anyone or no one on site, and you list those out, and then you list the status of the project. Things look good, or have a question about this, just to the point where you can show, for instance, that you visited 17 Smith Valley Lane on this week on Wednesday, and next week on Wednesday, and the week after that on Wednesday, and someone comes in and says, well, I was just over there and there was a real problem, and you say, well, that's weird. I was there on Wednesday, and I was there on Wednesday, and I was there on Wednesday. What exactly is the issue? That's what the benefit of it is. And this reminds me of 100,000 things that I've had to do in my life that were all about dealing with the problem that came up after, as opposed to dealing with the problem that's in front of you. So if we're visiting places, we need to document it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just that I already said, I'm doing it, I'm feeling like I'm...
I agree with you that...
Right, trying to figure out detail that's not being addressed in this manner, because what I'd rather not do is be duplicative of my own efforts. So, you know, in a marriage speaking, I don't want to waste time. And so making sure that I'm doing, like, for instance, the photos, you know, we've got the weather in the photos. You know, the people we're meeting.
I'm not going to argue with you about
et cetera.
this. At the top, it's going to say what the weather is, and
Right.
then it's going to have the site visits that you made, and then if you met with anybody, that would be great.
Right.
Okay, and then, so, do we have, how about, did you pick up your packet ahead of time? I found that very useful.
Me too, yeah, because it gave me time to do some, as you can tell, you know, I did my research.
Did you look at plans?
And then, as opposed to having a update like in this format, you were questioning whether you wanted to do it this detailed or?
Well, yeah, just, you know,
First-
getting into the time suck end of things.
No, I thought this worked great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we
good.
clearly took way more time than we meant to on 2 applications that we didn't need to take that time on. But we also, no offense. No, I didn't know. I didn't mean that. That was not. I did not mean it in that bad way. Well, no, I feel like those were conversations better held out in the field when we get out there. But,
True.
but it was also good because I'm glad we got to talk to that young man about the solar fields, the solar panels. So, no, I thought this was great, and I couldn't remember. Did Derek Delcor come in on a night I wasn't here?
No, he moved to the 8th.
No, I mean, did he come in the first time? Did he ever come in
Yeah.
before?
You might not have been here.
I think I wasn't here.
Because I think you came in late and we were like, oh, you missed this thing because it was fishing line and fishing hook.
Yeah,
So,
Well, I just know Derek
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's friends with
Yeah.
Noah.
yeah.
yeah.
So, and I've seen those around town.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
On Old Town Village,
Oh
our
yeah,
files don't have
I saw
anything.
that. So, what does that mean? So, there's nothing upstairs for that property?
It appears that the parking lot preceded the permitting for the apartment buildings.
What is Old Town Road?
So,
Is that off the rotary?
Yeah,
yeah,
basically.
way off the rotary
It's the apartments next to the drive-in to Pepsi.
Yeah, okay.
between Chirico and,
With
and
direct
Pepsi.
discharge into,
Multiple points of direct discharge into the stream.
Okay.
Which, interestingly, and I don't think any of us knew that, goes through a culvert pipe under the parking lot at Verizon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
huge.
And-
So when you turn off the rotary and you have McDonald's and then you have the KFC, Verizon is on the other side of the road. There's a big culvert pipe that goes under their parking lot.
Small overpipe.
Well,
But it, but it,
it's small now because it's full of dirt.
but it,
but-
but it runs a long distance.
Yeah, goes under there and must go all the way over
Yeah.
to behind McDonald's and the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky,
And do you know what they use that parking lot for? The poles that cars hit, broken poles. And so all of the god-awful poison in those things is sitting over the creek, you know, by 7 feet of concrete.
I guess the only positive is all the god-awful poison was you standing out on the edge of the road the day before. So it wasn't in a good spot anyway, but I understand. So,
Does the car wash feed into that pipe too?
at the car wash. Actually, that's interesting.
Oh,
The
yeah.
car wash would have been farther forward. So no, this is way off the rotary. There was a discussion, and the car wash is over here off the rotary. So you've got the car wash, the liquor store, Chirico Tire, and then you pull into this parking lot here, and then you go down back in over here. There's one parking area with a direct discharge next to the dumpsters, and then you go down in the back corner, and there's another direct discharge into the stream. So
Where does it come out though?
that's what I'm saying. It's got to come across the street. It's got to come across the street by the McDonald's
And
and
right
the
back.
KFC,
Right in back of McDonald's.
or else good to go. Right, because that kind of drops off in that direction. That must be where it goes.
It's a huge distance.
so do we want to pursue anything? like
Well,
that?
so that's actually the next question. So, have you talked to Judy or anybody about what we can do in a situation like this?
Not yet.
Okay. Could we start that tomorrow?
Sure.
So, we definitely want to do something.
Right.
There's also at another location, so there's 2 discharge points, and that in another location there was that drain that we saw. So, don't know where that goes either.
Which drain?
In the sidewalk. So if
Oh,
you
I
were
didn't see
to
that one.
if you were to
Yeah.
walk in the back, there's the discharge here and the 2 dumpster containers. If you go left this way up toward where there's like that little other parking area, it goes up,
Mhm.
and down below you see they've got the the wells where the people can walk out.
Mhm.
Right in that park, right in that sidewalk, right in the middle of it was a drain.
Missed that.
Well, you probably missed it because it was what we had to scrape the dirt away. We couldn't tell what it was till we scraped the
Yeah.
dirt off of it.
Yeah.
So
And then-
So
it's not working,
Yeah.
and if it was, we don't know where it goes. So in this case, the real question is to go to Ms. Schmitz and ask her what is the appropriate way to handle this going forward, because clearly the discharge can't continue, but secondarily, what are our options to have it fixed?
Yeah, it seems because it's been that way for 40 years.
Well, there was a curb, and you can see that it looks like at one point they had a curb, and then they cut the curb out because it was causing the parking lot to fill up with water.
Yeah.
So there are things they could do. There are storm scepters and other systems they could take advantage of, but the direct dumping in can't continue. Okay, we're at 10:12.
Okay, real quick, on the willows, should we have, Brian, should we, in terms of urging the mitigation to take place? Non-meeting notes, Todd?
Didn't the Shangs say that they were planning to
Mm-hmm.
mitigate this spring? I remember him
Yeah,
mentioning
promises.
that.
Promises.
Why don't we get on him?
If you could ask him for a schedule for that, and if we don't have a schedule, tell them they have to come in. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm, Last one for immediate would be 88 Central Avenue. Which would,
Oh, the
all
corner?
those, yeah. It
What
does look
zone
like
is
there's a
it?
lot of
What
green.
zone is that?
Where is 88 Central?
It's the big piles, kitty corner to the gym.
That's Richard Koch's house.
Is that zone 1? Zone 2?
Don't know that, but
What? Wait, what?
Well, aquifer protection.
He
Zone 1,
does-
zone 2? Floodplain, zone 1, zone 2? Where are we going? Zone.
Well, you said buildings. Buildings are permitted.
where
Are you talking about zoning, zone 1, zone 2?
No,
Where are you
is it
talking?
residential?
How is it zoned?
Yeah,
Yeah,
residential.
how's it
It's zoning.
Oh.
It's all residential, right? I'm just curious because you said that's not what is taking place in the yard along on Edge.
Yeah, so if you can visualize that space, is that big gravel driveway with the building in the back.
Oh yeah, no. So we've been over to see Richard many times over the years.
Right.
So, in general, the dirt piles, then there's the long span from the dirt piles over to the water. In most cases, those dirt piles are in some form of showing up and going away.
Mm.
We've never seen any migration of the soil on the property.
Mm.
And if you did, you'd see it because
Yeah,
it would show up right in the water, which you can see clearly from the road even.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All along the edge, I've never seen Richard do any work over there.
Yeah.
And every time we've gone over to meet with him, it's gone really well. We did meet with him to do his garage. Remember his foundation for his garage? He did
Right,
an
and
NOI.
Those were permitted
Yep.
appropriately and they went through. But that big,
Did he ever do an order? Did he ever do a COC for that?
I can find out, but probably not.
Well, I just don't remember if he ever did one. But all I'm saying is that it does look terrible from the road, and so we've been there many times. And Richard is a good guy who's very concerned about having it end up in there as well. So there was never any problem.
And that pile of earth, the 100-foot line probably runs through the toe of it, give or take. But the question from the enforcement perspective would just be that gravel drive in the back, because that wasn't part of the permitted work.
That gravel drive was there long before that
Okay,
permitted
that
work.
wasn't drawn on the plans.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
He had the gravel drive. He had the pass through. He comes out on the other side. That was always there.
Mm.
And for a while, he had equipment that was closer, and we asked him to move it, which I haven't seen it. I don't remember it being there lately.
Yeah.
He had equipment that was on the close side, and we asked
Yeah.
him to move it to the far side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. A little oil leakage into the ground,
So that one can go away. And then Ice House Partners is going to want us to do a site visit.
I had a chat with her. I went over it and did that, and she's gonna pursue some conversations with some other folks.
Where are you seeing these?
Upcoming projects, page 3. After Derek Del.
Oh.
She's got some erosion that might be eating into her parking lot, and we were discussing some of her options for how to manage the hydrological forces and how she might need to permit them or not, who would need to permit them or not.
Damn.
You know, how much work would be involved, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's gonna make some phone calls and get back to me with some ideas, and we'll sort of we'll form the clay before coming in.
Well, we were always very happy with that project, making use of the existing dam and turning it into a power plant. You know, well, what was your choice, right? Tear it out, start over.
So then the only thing, maybe if you can turn that on, actually, that turned itself off. I'd like to know what to do about the arsenic thing and if I can move forward.
Well, hold on, I tell you what. So, you're done? Okay, last one, because it's 10:20.
You were asking about, how they would.
Garbage disposal lab would be aware of and responsible for proper disposal methods for arsenic if they find high quantities. For collection. Okay.
So can I have a copy of that email?
So I'm.
Just when you have to cite them in the minutes. Yeah.
Almost too easy.
Interesting.
Okay. So what she's saying, I'm assuming Brigade is a woman. Okay. What she's saying is, as far as disposal, to be aware of and responsible for proper disposal methods, if they find. So, what they're saying is that we would extract material, and then they would have to test it and figure out what to do with it.
No, they would go and pull some plants out of the water, bring them to the lab. The lab would analyze them and come up with the results. And they would be moving forward under the assumption that there are high levels of arsenic at some point in some part of the plants they're removing.
All right. I believe that's what you talked to her about. That's not what this is.
That is what that is.
No, it says as far as disposal, be aware of and responsible if they find high quantities. So this doesn't tell me that they were coming to do it. So do they send you a proposal?
Yeah, they said it'd be $600 to pull 6 plants, and that was written up in a different.
That was prior to this. That was like 3 weeks.
Why does that do that so
meetings ago.
fast?
So fast. I don't know how to not make it fast.
Okay.
But then we would need a proposal if they did find high arsenic levels.
Right. So the
Well,
$600 would be to
that's a
figure
whole
it
other
out.
Creature, yeah.
Right.
$600 is to find out whether or not it's volunteer work to get rid of the water chestnut, or if it's some other creature that involves, the removal of heavy metal wastes from the pond.
Okay. But 600 is 6 plants.
Yeah, as opposed to the person that the alternative said they would check one plant for
Right.
$100.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not debating that.
Yes.
What I'm concerned about is that 600 for 6 plants doesn't give us a very good cross section. How pervasive is the water chestnut?
It's only going to get worse. It's right now limited to that sort of walking bridge at the very northeasterly corner of Grove Pond.
Over off Barnum Road.
Yeah, right in that little spot.
Okay.
Last summer, the plant numbers were probably in the dozens rather than in the hundreds, but, there's a seed bank. It'll be there.
It's exponential.
Yeah.
Okay. So the long story short is that 6 plants, if they collected 6 plants in that small area, we would at least, it's not like it's spread out over the entire pond.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it could be in other areas of the pond by now.
Right.
I'm just thinking about what, but we wouldn't say, we wouldn't be saying that you could pull plants in those areas because they hadn't been tested. So in other words, what I'm looking for is, what I'm trying to achieve is this just feels like this gigantic black hole, right? You go in, you pull out a couple of plants, you find out that we either can or can't pull them out, but they've got to be tested afterwards. If it spreads into other areas, it's just one of those things. It could just be really, really very expensive and would have to be done by professionals, or it could be done by volunteers on a weekend where we throw them in bags and burn them. So, okay. As the last item, I guess I would be comfortable spending the $600 to have 6 plants pulled. I would love them to kind of
Something formal.
spread them out.
Yep.
Yeah, but send us a proposal to do something formal.
Where's the money coming from?
Well, in this particular case,
I can check with Lisa, but I suspect there's enough in the regular budget.
If that's the case, then I'm fine with it.
the other thing that was coming into my head as you were saying that is this could actually come out of the money that we're taking for the weed treatment. By definition, the $25,000 and the $25,000, that's $50,000 that's attributed to weed treatment in the town's ponds. And so this would be in the goal of that.
Although I think we did mention specifically Sandy, Pine Meadow, and Farmington in the articles.
Did we? No, you're probably right. I think we did.
They were pond
If we
sensitive.
can put it out.
Wait till after July 1st, because the latest round didn't specify any ponds.
The one we just did the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just don't remember off the top of my head, but we can double check that. But my feeling would be, after we confirm the town warrant article, if the town warrant article just stated it was in service of weed treatment, because remember, actually, it absolutely isn't just the ponds. Because remember, Mark also spoke up in favor of it because we mentioned that it was also for some of the work that he was going to be doing. Remember? Some of it is for other work that Mark is doing to prevent stormwater from ending up in the ponds.
Is it erosion control? Or?
Remember the? Do you remember
Oh, yeah.
some of the rain garden type?
Yeah, the geosyntec,
Right.
special.
Recommendations that in certain
Drainage.
places
Yeah.
that the water, like at the end of what's that terrible hill, Mountain View. So the water comes down, and then the town does some kind of place for it to dissipate.
Bioretention areas.
Yeah, bioretention, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's covered in there. So if that's covered in there, then it's not pond specific.
Speaking of which, just an FYI, Dan got the blessing of the selectmen to ask for that money from the Section 319 grant, and it's going to be to the tune of 125-ish.
Great.
And that's putting Geosyntec's pond report to immediate use, relatively speaking. So
That's wonderful.
yeah,
Great,
All right.
great.
Ken, did you have one last comment in the 2 minutes we got left, sir?
The only thing I had to add is I didn't realize a discussion was going to come up about the seating in Solar One until it came up as part of.
The seating at Solar One should not have come up.
I
But I do have
apologize.
experience with ground mount solar, and I do have experience with mowing. I can tell you right now that that person is not going to mow once a month underneath the panels.
They're not going to mow under the solar panels ever.
It's kind of a strange discussion because I don't know how you come up with the right answer of what you do plant there, because you're actually contending with under the panels, and then the areas you're going to be able to get at with mowers and with machines. So you do have a challenge to figure out.
well, and to be fair,
So-
the discussion's not complete. It's just the status of it.
Right, and there's other parts to it too, which is one of the things that we were just talking about. There's the wonderful viewpoint that we're going to plant this grass, and whatever we plant in there is going to be the only thing. And then there's the reality, which is maple seeds fall in there,
Yeah.
and oak seeds fall in
Yeah,
there.
everything, yeah.
And so part of the reason to mow that area is because we're not just taking care of grass, we're keeping down other things that'll grow up in there.
I was going to be on board with GPR on the thing because they started much of the discussion months ago, the fact they had done these in other areas. And I thought they would immediately have the answer from experience elsewhere with solar farms elsewhere. There must be an answer that they're using because they've been around for years.
Well, it's interesting. So when you go out, there's a couple on the side of the road on my way out to New Salem through Orange. Stone.
You're correct.
You can hate it if you want to.
Clarification. So we have okayed the expenditure of $600 for testing?
Yeah, we did that.
Or
And we'll
okay,
just determine the source of paying at another time fully.
We've okayed that they can send us a proposal that we can
Right,
work off of
right.
it.
For,
So what we said was we're okay. So we didn't
So we're
approve
okay.
$600 because we don't have anything to approve. We said
okay.
we're thrilled to get a proposal. They should move forward with the proposal, and we were discussing the payment method. So maybe the better way to phrase that is please verify that we can take it from the from the weed control, because that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got two minor issues, I hope.
Are you sure? Because we're
I
really
really
stretching. This
think-
is
I think
really turning
that
into
one
a
I
problem.
think Let's
Well,
do it next time.
This might be
Yeah,
time
next time.
saving.
Nope, next time.
All right.
Is he gonna save us half tonight?
No.
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 And no. What's the last one?
I've been talking with Cindy about getting a stand-up desk thing that you can put on. She found a few, and they're like $300, and I just wanted to see if you guys would humor that. If I can go shopping around.
I would.
Cool.
I want one for myself, but I'm gonna be moving desks soon, so.
And that's where it comes from. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.